Hare Krishna, everyone. You see my screen?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, let's start from Mangalacharan. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Nisapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahakara Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Prashna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padana Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarvascha Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone. I'll just open chapter 10.1. It's already there actually. Okay, so let's start. So we are in the 10th chapter now, in the heart of Bhagavad Gita, in the heart of Bhakti section. We finished 9th chapter, which basically Krishna was revealing his heart more and more to Arjuna. First, he explained how he pervades the whole universe. All the entities are in him, and then he's out of everyone, and then slowly he started opening his heart. And he said, connection to Krishna is so easy in comparison to demigods, and is permanent. And Krishna personally look after his devotees in every single situation. And finally, he ended the 9th chapter with the famous verse, Manmana Bhav Madbhakto Madhyajimam Namashkuru. So basically, he's saying, become my devotee. At least offer obeisances to me. Now, how you can become his devotee, that will be discussed in more detail in the 10th chapter. And as Prabhupada writes, the 10th chapter is Opulence of the Supreme, and the Sanskrit name is Vibhuti Yoga. So Vibhuti, we'll read about it. Vibhuti means very important, powerful, attractive things which takes our attention in this material world. And Krishna will sort of explain that they are spiritualized or energized by me only. So we'll read different vibhutis in 10th chapter as well as in 11th chapter. So last week we did 5 verses of the 10th chapter. Let's do a quick revision and then we'll start. So 10.1, Priya Mataji, would you like to do?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So translation is 10.1. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, listen again, O mighty armed Arjuna. Because you are my dear friend, for your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. So here Krishna is, like you mentioned, shows his heart in towards Arjuna, how he loves him. So Sri Bhagavan Vacha. So Krishna is saying Bhuya means again I am going to speak to you, and Eva Mahabhav. So and then Shrunu you mentioned is to hear, listen, and that's also mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 7.1. Krishna talks about in that way, how important it is for our spiritual life to hear, and that also, and Srila Prabhupada also mentions the importance of hearing for advancement in, and the beginning of our spiritual life starts with hearing. So it's mentioned here, and also in 7.1, the emphasis of Shunu, which is listen. So listening, Shunu me param vacha. So param is obviously supreme, to his instruction, vacha. And why Krishna is saying that is because Arjuna is very dear to him. So that's why he's saying Yatteham Priyamana, so very dear to him. Vakshyami Hita so, and he's saying, Krishna is saying for Arjuna's benefit, but indirectly also he's saying for our benefit, because Arjuna is representing the living entities. So Krishna is loves everyone, and he's showing, and he's his heart in that way towards everyone.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. As Mataji was explaining, Paramam Vacha, the supreme instruction. Anyone can do a comparative analysis between 9th chapter and 10th chapter. Which verse goes in comparison to this verse in 9th chapter? Paramam Vachaha. Similar word is being used in 9th chapter, very famous verse. Rupam Prabhu is smiling. Almost there. So 9.2, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam. So there also is Krishna is saying Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. This is Raja Vidya. This is very, very supreme knowledge. And we discuss about the king of knowledge and the knowledge of the kings. We discussed two meanings there. So this is also Paramam Vacha, supreme instruction. So Krishna is not talking any chit chat with his friend Arjuna, as we do when we meet our friends. So all these talks are basis on his scriptures, and Krishna is giving very, very high, deep instruction, serious instruction, spiritual instruction to Arjuna. Why? Because he loved all the living entities. Priyamarnaya, you're very dear to me, and I want your benefit. Sometimes some people speak very, very sweetly, but that is not for our benefit. But Krishna is speaking sweetly because he really wants us to get benefit out of this talk. So whatever Krishna is speaking is very, very beneficial for all of us. So that's why we should hear very seriously. My spiritual master said, we are usually in the material world very serious about unserious things. Unserious things means material things, mundane things. We become very serious about what will happen to my job, what will happen to my health, what will happen to my this person, that person, blah, 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 all my material plans. And he said, we hardly become serious for the serious things. So he said, it's a time for us to become serious for serious things. And what's the serious things? Do not worry too much about this temporary material situation. We all have some good and some bad, but don't worry too much about it. You do what you have to do, but our whole focus should be on the spiritual side. How are we going to develop that side? So he said, become serious for the serious things. So this is serious. Krishna is talking serious things here. Thank you, Mataji. Rupam Prabhu, you want to do the second one?
Yes, Prabhu.
Just one more thing. So which section we are talking here? Just as a section, as per MIHE, anyone remembers? We can have a look here.
Yes, Krishna as the source of everything, as the origin of everything.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. It's good to remember the sections as well. Yes, Prabhu. Okay.
So translation: neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulence, for in every respect I am the source of demigods and sages. So, so Krishna continues to reveal about himself, and starts by saying, Name. Name is not Name Vidu, Sura Ganaha. So Sura or Sur are the demigods, and Sura has a different meaning. So neither the demigods or the group of demigods nor the Maheshwara in the next Maharshya, so the Maharishis. So neither the demigods, not collectively the demigods, nor the Maharishis, they know about me. And one of the things that we discussed last time is the significance of talking about the demigods and the rishis is demigods are sort of a hallmark of power, and rishis are for knowledge and devotion. So neither of these two entities, neither of these two category of individuals are aware of Krishna. Then Krishna further says, Aham Adir Hi Devanam. So Aham is me. Adi means the origin, um, and so Adir is demigod. So the demigods and the rishis do not know about Krishna as being the origin of everything. Then the last line, Maharshinam cha sarvasha. So um, origin of the Maharishis, or origin of Krishna's origin. The rishis are not fully aware of Krishna's origin, and Krishna, in one sense, is also saying Sarvasha looks after the rishis in all respect, and that thing, the respect is both in terms of their origin, the origin of the rishis, and also about their sustenance. So in other words, Krishna is also saying, I'm the origin and sustenance of all of them, the devotees, the demigods, as well as the rishis.
Thank you, Prabhuji. There's one more point which just comes to my mind. I'm not sure last time I discussed. So when Krishna is saying about the demigods and rishis, Krishna is not putting here, Name vidu manushya ganaha. Krishna does not say, Manushya do not know me. So why Krishna is only putting demigods and Maharishis? As Rupam Prabhu was saying, even the topmost of this universe do not know me. So Krishna doesn't even count Manushyas. Many times Manushya think I'm the most intelligent one, I'm the most powerful one. And many scientists, so-called scientists, say only Earth has this population of living entities and nowhere else the life exists. And we think we, America or Russia or some developed countries, so-called developed countries, we are the strongest one and we know all the knowledge of the whole universe. But actually, we are not even counted in the list. What to speak about so-called knowledge? We are not even counted in the list when it talks about in the topmost of the list. So who are the topmost? The demigods and the rishis, they are the topmost. And Krishna will talk more about them. So Manushya may think that I'm very intelligent, I'm very developed, very much knowledgeable, technically developed. We are not even counted in the list when the talks happen on the universal level. We are extremely insignificant. So, and also it sort of signifies, if demigods don't know me, rishis don't know me, what to speak of Manushas? What to speak of Manushas? So if Manushas don't know Krishna as the origin, there is no surprise in that. So it also sort of humbles our position. Yes.
Prabhu, I've got a question here.
Yes, please.
True, as we, from knowledge point of view, the more we learn about Krishna, the more we understand about Krishna, and the more our love towards Krishna goes up, and also our understanding and faith. Then, Prabhu, how is it that the rishis, being the highest source of knowledge, they are not aware? They must have studied
Yes.
their version of Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, and other.
Yes. Yes.
They are struggling, or
Yes.
like it must be really a big thing. That's why Krishna is mentioning it here.
Yeah.
So I would like to understand how.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Mention
Yes,
it
a
here.
very, very nice question. So as we being extremely insignificant, also know a little bit. So Prabhu, when it says about they name viduhu, it means they do not know completely in all the aspects. And I thought discuss on this word sarvashaha. So sarvashaha can come in front of devanam and maharishis, and sarvashaha also come in terms of in all the respects. So they do not know Krishna as the origin of everything in all the respects. One example which comes to my mind right now is Durvasa Muni, such a great rishi. Did he know about Krishna? In Ambrish Maharaj incident I'm talking. So he knew about Krishna, not that he does not know, but in those moments, what he thought, I am the controller. Because this person, this king has made a mistake, I can punish him for his misdeeds. That's what he thought, at least, right? He forgot about it. But towards the end of the whole episode, you see, Durvasa Muni is glorifying Lord Vishnu, and Vishnu's devotee said, I don't remember the verse, it's a great verse. It says, No surprise, Lord Vishnu's devotees are so tolerant. Huh? I really pay my obeisances to them. So these rishis, Brahmaji also at one stage was running after his own daughter. He was attracted to Saraswati ji. So why did it happen? He thought, again, enjoying mentality, just a momentarily enjoying mentality came in his heart. So he forgot. So we have to remember they know Krishna, obviously they know Krishna, but not in full respect. That means not all the time. And Indra makes so many mistakes, for example. Other demigods also make mistakes. So all these people, they do know about Krishna, but they don't know Krishna in full and up to the extent where they should know. And that's why it says sometime, although Manusha, human being, when he becomes devotee, although human beings are very insignificant in terms of universal big celebrities, but a human being, when he becomes a devotee, he is actually even higher than Brahma. Amrendra Prabhu was telling in class, as soon as you start chanting Hare Krishna, that's what Prabhuji was saying as per some Purana, Brahmaji starts preparing an arti plate for you. And when you will pass by through Brahmaloka, and Brahmaji will do the arti for you. Oh, you are going to Vaikuntha Loka. I'm not so fortunate. So it does not mean Brahmaji is not a devotee. It does not mean he doesn't know about Krishna. But like you are the one, or one of the person, a human being, for example, has perfected his devotion, is gone back to Godhead in front of Brahmaji. So that is great. That is great. And that opportunity is given to us. Now, if we count our life in front of Brahma's life, we can't even say 0.00001%. It has to be like 10 to the power minus 10 million or something, right? In that time, Brahmaji is not even second. You have perfected yourself, gone back to Godhead. Wow, Brahmaji is like, all glories to you. And it makes sense. It makes sense. In front of us, a cheaty become a devotee, goes back to Vaikuntha in 400 forms, and we're like, Jai Ho Cheeti Rani. You are so great, isn't it? It's very surprising. I'm a human. I have all the facilities, technology, iPhone 15 and all that. I'm not a devotee. I'm suffering here. And you went back to Godhead. Amazing. So in that aspect, we should take. They all know Krishna, no doubt. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. 10.3. Prasanatma Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
10.3, I'll read the translation. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. So, yes, Yomam, Ajam. So, Ajam means unborn. So, Anadim means beginningless. So, one and also Vetti Loka Maheshwaram, who is the proprietor of everything. So, unborn and Anadim is both Lord and the living entities. And Vetti Loka Maheshwaram is pointing to Lord. So only the person who knows these facts, absolute facts, that person among the mortal beings who is undiluted will be free from all the Asamoda means undiluted. Samartyesha means among all the living mortal living beings. Sarva Pape Pramachit, he will be freed from all sinful reaction. That is first thing what will happen when you know these facts about the Lord.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. So what's the connection between 10.2 and 10.3? Someone else can say? Rasan Prabhuji is here. Connection between 10.2 and 10.3. Okay, Madhuri Mataji is ready.
In 10.2, Krishna wants to say that even the great demigods and rishis also do not understand. And here he is telling like what are the qualities in order to understand it.
What's the benefit? What's the benefit? So 10.2, he said, no one knows me. So Arjun may ask, so what's the benefit of knowing you? Huh? Like, you don't have a car. So you said, what's the benefit of having a car? So Arjun is saying, what's the benefit of knowing you? So Krishna says, benefit of knowing me, the first benefit is sarva papaihe pramuchate. You'll not be deluded. You'll be out of all the sinful reactions. Is that everything? Is that all the benefit of knowing Krishna? No, it's the first and the smaller benefit. The main benefit will be shown in 10.7, which is the main benefit. But it's first benefit to start with. Because unless you start from here, you're still in pap. very, very hard to understand Krishna if you're still in Pap. Obviously, anyone can start understanding Krishna from his level, wherever he is. And as Prasanatha Prabhu was saying, a very important thing, Veti Loka Maheshram. What is the similar verse in Bhagavad Gita earlier?
529.
Thank you. Everyone knows that. We can do some comparative analysis from each verse. Many times this knowledge is repetitive. What does repetition shows us? Jamati Mataji spoke something, didn't you?
Importance.
Importance.
Yes.
Sometime, you tell your kids, do not speak lie, do not hurt others. You repeatedly make the statement so that they understand. So we are like kids, and Krishna is repeatedly saying few things again and again. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Why he has to say 3 times? Because it is so important. Eva. Eva means no other name. Kevalam. Actually, every single thing is repeating itself again and again. But it's so important, and you don't have to worry about anything except Harinam. Okay, 10.4 to 5, the context of it. Jamvati Mataji?
Prabhu, 10.3 also refers to 410. Isn't there some kind of a similarity between the two? 10.3 and 410. Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha.
Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha. Sarva Papai Pramuchate. Vitaraga. Raga Bhaya Krodha, they are the internal qualities and they are like the external sense. Yeah. Negativities. You can say Vitaraga Bhaya. So Raga Bhaya, Mother is talking about 4.10, where Krishna is saying Puto Madbhavam Agataha, where in the past many people have taken shelter and come out of Raga, Bhaya, and Krodha. Attachment. Krodha is anger, and Raga, Bhaya, and fearfulness. And here we are saying Sarv Papai Pramuchate. So gross sense versus internal demerits. Yes, Mataji. You can compare. All these things are coming out when we are worshipping Krishna. Good comparison. Okay. 10.4 to 5, the context of it.
Even
Someone
sorry,
else
Prabhu, even
yes,
4.9 also is similar, Prabhu.
Yo veti
Evam
tattvataha.
vo veti tattvataha.
Actually, we'll see another verse as well. Okay, so many comparisons coming up, which is nice.
7.3 also is there.
Manushyanam Sarsteshu Kashyadati Siddhaye.
That's it. Oh,
Yeah,
veti
so that I think we can say 10.2 when it's saying Name Vidu Surgana. So no one knows me. And then he says, in one sense similar, another sense different, because he's talking about demigods and rishis, and there he is talking about Manushyanam Sarsteshu, talking about human beings.
Human being, okay.
In one sense, yes, all these shrenies, all these categories do not know me. And at the same time, you can say, okay, here he's talking the top cream of the universe in the category wise. Demigods and rishis do not know. That means he has said for everyone. Manushas are not counted here. That means they also definitely do not know. Yeah, good.
Yes, thank you.
No, good comparison. We should think about these, similarities. Then our mind will learn so many things quickly. Thank you. 10.45.
So, like Krishna is saying, not only the personalities, what he spoke about in 10.2, even the qualities also comes from.
Yes, thank you. So do not just think that the gross bodies are coming, even the internal qualities are coming from me. And he mentions few of those qualities, which comes from Krishna. So let's quickly read. Not one person has to read all. We can just quickly go. Jai Prakash Prabhu, Buddhi Jnana. What's the difference? Just quick.
So Buddhi is intelligence, Prabhu, to differentiate what is good and bad.
Okay.
And knowledge is more like Prabhupada defines as what to know the difference between the matter and spirit.
Yes.
So,
yep. So matter and spirit, that's Gyan. And how to apply that Gyan, that's Buddhi. Suppose, many times, or all of us, many times, this is material thing. It's not so important, but it still get dragged to it. So we all know this is not very nice for our spirituality, but we get attracted to those things. So that means our Buddhi is weak. Gyan is there. Gyan is there. We know this is spirit and that's matter, but our Buddhi is weak. So nice. Asammoha, Jamvati Mataji. That's an easy word.
Freedom from delusion.
Freedom for delusions. Can you break this word? Moha?
Moha.
Moha is
Moha means
illusion.
illusion. Yeah.
Illusion. Huh? We all become mohit, bewildered.
Yeah.
We have our Mohit Prabhu, who is iPhone. He bewilders everyone, huh?
Everyone,
Because of
because
good
of
qualities.
good quality.
Okay.
Okay.
I can hear
I
myself.
can hear myself.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, much better. So asamoha refers to not bewildered. And we are all moha. We are in moha from the birth, Krishna says in 7th chapter. So we become asamoha. Shama, Raghavi Mataji.
Prabhu, did you ask for the next one?
Yes, Shama.
Shama is forgiveness.
Forgiveness. So what sort of forgiveness we are talking? What we have to do to others. His Holiness Bhakti Rasamana Raja said very nicely, what good others have done to us, we should always remember, and what bad we have done to others, we should always remember. But what we do, the other way. What bad others have done to us, we always remember. He said this thing 15 years ago, huh? And what good we have done to others, we always remember. But that's not very important, huh? That's our duty. We should do it. We all know that story of a Brahman was taking bath in Ganges, and one insect, one kekada, scorpion, he was drowning into the water, and this Brahman picks up that scorpion in the hand and trying to save him and put him on the bank of the Ganges, and the scorpion started biting his hand. And at one point, Brahmana could not take it, so he had to leave the scorpion back into the water. But again, he picks him up. Again, a scorpion bites him. So this activity goes on for a couple of times. Another person next to the Brahman is saying, dear Brahman, the scorpion is biting you again and again. Why are you trying to relieve him? Why are you trying to save him? And what does he say? This scorpion, being an animal, does not leave his nature. His nature is to bite. So he's a small animal. Huh? If he is not able to leave his nature, I am a Brahman. My duty is to save others. How can I leave my nature? I must save him. Can you imagine the scenario happening with us? When we are somewhere and some insect is biting us, we're still trying to save that insect. Vasudev in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he had leprosy all over his body. His leprosy was so much that insects will eat his flesh right in front of him. There's so many insects crawling on him. And the insects were so many, the insect will try to eat one of the part of the flesh of his body, and they will fall down because too many insects. What Vasudev will do, he will pick up those insects and put it back into the body. And others will say, what are you doing? They're hurting you so much. He said, no, this is their food. How can I deprive this living entity from his food? I must save him. He picks up that insect and come on, bite me again and again. Huh? They are the devotees. They are the devotees. They pray to Krishna. Rantidev Maharaj prayed to Krishna, let suffering of all the living entities come upon my head, and not even one single living entity should suffer in this universe. My dear Krishna, let me suffer on their behalf. Please transfer all their sins on my head and let them be free from all the sins, and no one should suffer at all. Huh? This is our Vedic culture. This is our Vedic culture. There's no point of selfishness. Prabhupada is said to be, he has built a house where the whole world can live in, and whole world can live in peacefully and lovingly. Huh? So this is our Vedic culture. So great. So we talk about this Shama. Okay, Satyam, Madhuri Mataji. Maybe everyone can sort of go unmute. We just go quick.
Truthfulness.
It takes a lot of time. Madhuri Mataji.
Satyam is truthfulness.
Can you sort of elaborate? I'm hearing my echo. Not anymore. Okay, I think I'm fine now. Yes, Madhuri Mataji.
Yeah, it is the truthfulness. Like if we are saying about anything about the Supreme Lord, that should come based on proper evidence, or from a guru, or from a parampara, or it should be a truthful.
Okay, so I'll just elaborate on that same thing. But Mataji, you're saying is correct. So Satya obviously is truth, but is all the truth beneficial for us? No. Many things are truth. Like this song is sung by, I don't know, Michael Jackson or whatever. It's true. Is it beneficial for me? Huh? So we have to sort of apply that intelligence. So truth in a higher sense is me, which is for Krishna. So you should only hear truth, you should only speak truth. What does it mean? You should only hear about Krishna and speak about Krishna, no nonsense speaking. You said, no, I'm speaking truth. That's what Shastra says. No, but that truth is useless. It's useless. Or sometimes the truth can actually degrade you. So truth is what? Truth is what is about absolute truth. Speaking, hearing should be truthful. That means about absolute truth. We just a little higher meaning. Damaha Shamaha Mahavasu Prabhu.
Dhamma is control of senses, and Shama, Dhamma is control of mind. Sorry.
Thank you. Which is better?
Actually, control of mind is better, but it cannot be done unless and until we control the senses.
Yeah,
so control of senses is the priority, the first thing, and then the second step is controlling the mind.
Yeah. An example, Prabhuji, you can give one example, simple example.
So the example.
On Ekadashi, you go to temple,
yes.
and you see a grain cake. And every cake le lo, cake le lo, cake le lo, Mahaprasad cake, Mahaprasad cake, Mahaprasad cake. What do? Is it grain or non-grain? Prabhuji, it's grain cake. Oh, thank you so much. So you take in a glass and bring it home and you eat it tomorrow. So Dhamma is, although it's Mahaprasad, it's of Krishna Janmashtami cake, it's a Maha cake. But what do? Dhamma. Very nice looking cake, Dhamma. And Shama is what? Your mind is not agitated. You can just do pranam to the cake. So many ways of honoring Mahaprasad. One of the ways of honoring Mahaprasad is just by doing pranam. Sometimes you can touch the Mahaprasad and circumambulate the Mahaprasad tray. That's also sort of honoring. The way we honor is until it touches our tongue, we don't think we are honoring. There are other multiple ways of honoring Mahaprasad as well. So Sama is obviously the best, but obviously very, very high level. So we should at least do Dhamma. And the best is Shama. Thank you, Prabhu. Sukham, Dukham, Sakhi Radhika Mataji.
Pleasure or happiness, like whatever is, which is favorable for the, like, whatever is favorable for our Krishna consciousness, that's what I remember.
Yeah, you're right. So Sukha, Dukha, obviously, which feels good to our senses, that's Sukha, and which doesn't feel good to our senses, Dukha. But at the same time, what is real Sukha? Getting up for Mangala Arati, very difficult. It's a Dukha, right? Actually, it's not Dukha, that's Sukha. And Dukha is what? Sleeping till 8 o'clock, that is Dukha. Especially on Ekadashi days. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. So all the devotees are doing some extra austerity. Extra austerity means some volunteer tapasya. They are doing voluntarily for a higher purpose. That's not Dukha, that's Sukha. So we can have Krishna conscious definition. Bhava, Abhavo, Tanya Mataji.
Birth and death.
Yes. Why death? Krishna is such a great God, but he kills living entities. Whoa, that's terrible. Is that right?
Yeah.
How do you explain that? If someone asks you,
because
your Krishna is a cruel God. He's killing
he
people.
appears to kill the demons, so he is.
But he kills the good people as well. He puts Draupadi in a very peculiar situation. He puts Sita in a very peculiar situation. And so many examples. Kunti Maharani. How do you explain death? Now, death can be a physical body's death, or death can be many moments in life as well. It comes from Krishna. How do you explain?
Not sure.
Not sure. Charu Mataji. Death coming from your loving God, Bansi Bajane Wala, he is flute playing God, he is killing people.
It's just duality of life in this material existence. So it just means that Krishna is all pervading. And ultimately, whatever we experience in life comes from him. And that they are based on our karma.
Okay.
Krishna,
Yes.
Krishna is also like death personified, like the one form of Krishna. When if somebody loves Krishna, he sees Krishna like going, death is like going towards Krishna.
Going towards Krishna, Kadam Kanan Maharaj.
Kadam Kanan Maharaj. Yeah.
Because that every day it's just so fresh. So everything is just coming from there. So
yeah. It says when you sleep, that's also called death. Shastra says that when you sleep for 8 hours, your body is sort of dead. So without death, can you experience the freshness in the new day? Suppose you don't sleep tonight, you are serving Krishna or whatever you are doing, right? Do you feel fresh? So death actually in one sense compulsory. You need to relax. And the more you die, the better you feel next day. Some people die for 10 hours, 12 hours a day. Huh? That's not I'm recommending here, but that's what people do. Huh? So death, we call about it. And Krishna says all these Bhishma Pitama, Dronacharya says, they have old bodies. They will change it. Vasansi Jirnani Yatha Vihai. They will change to new bodies. So what's the big problem? And also God's definition is generator, operator, and destroyer. So I am the one who takes away everything at the time of death. So death is sort of the complete ending. Without death, the cycle isn't complete. So Krishna completes that cycle. And finally, if you have lived your life nicely, even if you die, you leave the body, where you go? You go to your beloved Krishna forever, and you enjoy his pastime. And unless you die, can you go? As Charu Mataji is saying, it's the rule of the material world. This is how the dualities work here. So you have to leave to go to him. So your kid will leave the playground to come back to the parents, and parents become very happy, and kid also become very happy. So death is the completeness. Welcome to Maragan Prabhu. He's trying to say something. He's welcome to add if he wants to.
Mrugank was here, Prabhu.
No, if he wants to add something, I'm saying he's welcome.
Do you want to add anything to this? Prabhu saying we were doing 10, 4, 5.
We're doing death. Why Krishna is the cause of death?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he wasn't listening. He was just looking.
Hemanga Prabhu ki jai. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'll leave you alone now.
No. I thought you wanted to say something. That's it, Prabhuji. So I just wanted to hear. That's okay.
I have a question quickly.
Yes, Mataji.
Like, I was just wondering, like, again, because it's fresh, I've been hearing about Maharaj's lectures, Kadam Kanan Maharaj's lectures. He said that death is just a change in service. So I'm just contemplating what you just said, that sometimes death is like some big things happen, like what happened with Draupadi. It's almost like death to an extent. So does that also mean that, like, that would he mean that change in service is change in consciousness? Sometimes when bad things happens or something happens, our service attitude changes because we learn from it and we grow towards Krishna. Is what that means? Like, because whatever he says, I have realized several times it has 10 different meanings.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to, like, you can share something on that.
So one meaning which I understand, and as you correctly indicated as well, when you die, basically you get a new body. Which body you get, obviously we don't know. But in his case, we can say he's got a spiritual body, and in the spiritual body, he is also serving Krishna. So in this so-called, now his body is not considered material, but so-called material body, he was serving Krishna. In the next body also, he's serving Krishna. So basically in the change of service, and in that terms, he's serving New York, he's serving Mayapur. Now he'll be serving, I don't know, maybe in some another universe. Maharaj also said last year in some lecture, I want to go to Golok Vrindavan, I want to go to Mayapur in the spiritual body. And I also want to preach. So which all places Maharaj or like him personalities will appear. Prabhupada may still be in some universe preaching Krishna consciousness. We don't know. Or maybe gone back to God, and maybe one part of Prabhupada in Goloka, one part in another universe somewhere preaching about Krishna. So yes, it's change of service in the sense from where they're doing service and what service they will be doing next. In next birth, Krishna may ask them to do some other seva, I don't know. In this birth, he's doing a type of seva, another seva, but for him and personalities like him, it's just a change of service, change of location. That's it, nothing much. Wherever you are. Once I just say one more thing. I was in Sydney with Maharaj next to Cronulla Beach. Some devotees had a house, and we stayed there for some time, just a few days. So Maharaj once asked, so Eluzon Mataji came to meet Maharaj from Murvilamba, I guess. Maharaj just asked jokingly, we were having lunch, and said, so where are you? And the answer was sort of very simple. I'm in Sydney at Cronulla Beach. He said that, and Maharaj said, I'm not at Cronulla Beach. Maharaj is sitting and asking a question to this Mataji. He said, Maharaj, I'm in Sydney, I'm Cronulla Beach. Maharaj said, I'm not at Cronulla Beach. So Maharaj sitting at Cronulla Beach, but he's saying, I'm not at Cronulla Beach. So physically, obviously, his body was there that time, but he said, I'm not at Cronulla Beach. So yeah, it's a very different level. Okay, we have 3 more questions. Tanya Mataji.
Prabhuji, I just missed asking this when you said, how did you compare death to sleep?
Death to sleep, because you're not doing any productive things. Okay, you are breathing, definitely you're breathing, but is your body doing any productive activity? Okay, your cells are relaxing, obviously, and that's why we say death is important, that death is important. So similarly, because your body is not doing any, like when you sleep for 8 hours or 6 hours, whatever, your body isn't doing much, isn't it? Except breathing and relaxing, which is necessary. So body, as per Shastra, because
Yeah.
you're not utilizing it directly in the service of the Lord, indirectly, yes, but directly, that is considered a sort of death.
Oh, so any time that you're not utilizing in the service of the Lord is death.
Directly is considered a death. Like you're wasting time, for example, not that you do, but you're doing prajalpa with your friends.
Okay.
It's a dead moment of your life because you have been given this car for 30 years and you wasted this car not driving around for 20 years. And you said, your friend will say, but you're paying for it. What are we paying it when we got this car? Our good karma. We got human birth based on good karma. We encashed our good karma. Like, we have 100,000 altitude points. Sorry, devotees will understand that, or maybe not. You convert those points into a gift card, something like that. Now you waste 20,000 points for nothing. Then devotees will say, "Are mujhe de dete." You could have given those 20,000 points to me. You could have bought a ticket to India or something like that. Huh? Similarly, when Krishna has given you this body, given us this body, if we are not utilizing it, it's dead. Now we cannot say for sannyasis, for example, they utilize their body so much, they sleep for 2 to 3 hours. Prabhupada was using 2 to 3 hours a day. Goswamis were sleeping 1 or 2 hours a day. Sometimes they will forget sleeping because they said, we have so much to do. We have to just continue working. So their sleep is not considered as death.
But if it's time that you're not serving to Krishna directly, why will Krishna give us that time? Wouldn't he want us to serve him all the
Yes,
time?
exactly. And that's why it's considered, it's recommended you sleep less and work more. So Krishna has given this time for us to relax because this is how the world is sort of designed. Now, demigods don't sleep. They don't even have eyelids. They don't get tired. They don't sweat. They don't get hungry. They don't get disease. They don't get old age, but humans do. So this is a sort of a problem with us. But okay, you have a problem, so you need to take a Panadol, but do you take Panadol out of fun? No, you just take when you need it. You take 1 or 2 Panadols just to get out of that miserable situation, and then we are done. And if you keep taking Panadols on a daily basis, 16 every day, 16 every day, someone will say, Mataji, what has happened to you? It's not normal. So when we sleep for 16 hours, Krishna or devotees look at you. What has happened? You need some sleep. That's fine. Relax your body, but get back to your business. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Rupam Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, the examples that we were discussing now of Draupadi, Ma Sita, and others who went through some challenging situations and in our language, miseries. So, will it be okay to say that that's also like the reason that happened with them is also to set a precedence for us,
Yes.
the sort of code of conduct, do's and don'ts, what we
Yes.
should do in our life.
Definitely, definitely. That's the lesson. Now, Sita Mata, Draupadi, they are all not normal people. Sita Mata is, eternal consort of the Lord. Draupadi is, maybe if you don't know, Draupadi is in a male form in his spiritual world. He is a friend of Krishna. In the material world, he comes as she is a friend of Krishna. So they are eternal associates of Lord. The only reason they are here, and Lord as well, just to teach us some lesson. So definitely, Prabhuji, definitely. Because our names cannot be included in the scriptures. That's a problem. We are not so great. Who will look at us? Who will listen to us? Even if we set up some examples, who will look at us? Be honest, right? We are not so great. So great people has to come down and make some so-called great mistakes. Ravan is Jay and Vijay. Ravan and Kumbhakarna means, in one sense, how can you blame Ravan? But we do blame in the lecture. Ravan was lusty. Ravan was kidnapping others' wife and other girls. That's a bad quality, right? Now we are not looking at Ravan as Jay that time. Obviously, we understand in depth Ravan is, Hiranyakashipu is Jay and Vijay. But when we are talking the characters, because we have to take lessons, otherwise we'll never take a lesson. Are Ravan to Jay and Vijay, whatever he's doing is transcendental. Now Jay and Vijay stealing Lakshmi Devi. Now how come it's possible? Now we can't say that. Ravan is stealing Mother Sita. That makes sense. Only for us, definitely. Yeah. Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sorry, I didn't quite understand the birth part of the thing. So is it like we are not this body, or we are saying that we should utilize this body?
Okay, so okay, I think it's two questions. So birth is from Krishna, that's one. So bhava, we using the word bhava here, and Prabhupada writes here, bhava and abhava, which is bhava is birth, death. So our birth is coming from Krishna. That's from the soul's perspective and body's perspective. It's all from Krishna. Now, once you get the birth, the real birth starts as per Shastra once you start serving Krishna. I'll tell you a little story. Maybe you have heard it, I'll repeat it. There was one man passing by a village, and in the village, before the village he entered into, there was a graveyard. In the graveyard, at the entrance door, he saw a list of people who have been buried there. And some people, it says in 1953 to 2023 or something like that, he says 70 years, 60 years like that. But in that board, in that list, he saw people's age was written as 6 months, 3 months, 5 months. So he saw all the children live in this village and all the children died. No one was more than 6 months old in that list. So he thought, this is a very interesting village. I want to go and see inside this village. All the kids will be there. But when he entered into the village, he saw a young man, he saw a young lady, he saw an old man and an old lady, he saw some kids. And he was wondering, in the graveyard list, I only saw the people who are 3 months old, 6 months old, 5 months old, 2 months old. But in this village, I see many old people are also there, young people are also there. So he asked one of the old person, why it was written in the list of the graveyard that only maximum age was 6 months or 8 months. So this old person explained him, in our village, when any one of us die, we only count his age in which he or she has served Krishna. So if in his 80 years of life, he has served Krishna for 4 months, so his age is considered 4 months. If he has served Krishna for 6 months, his age is considered 6 months. So we only write that age. Rest everything is based. This person was very impressed. He said, he is right. He is right. So we may be, 60-year-old or 80-year-old, but that doesn't matter. What matters how much time we have utilized in serving the Lord. Ayur harati vai pamsan udayan astan chayan asau. So as the sun rises and the sun sets, it takes away 1 day of your life. Ayur harati. Harati means to take away. Sun takes away the life. Now, if you have not utilized that day, it says even a moment, then you have wasted your life. That really wasted your life. But if you have served Krishna for that day, successful, successful. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes.
Prabhu, sorry,
Yes.
can I say something? I mean, just thinking on this. So you were talking about all this these are all dualities here, right? You're born, then you have to die.
As well.
As well.
Yes.
So Krishna has created this world with all these dualities only so that because he wants to give us, is it because he just wants to give us that supreme stability and existence which is beyond this duality? So and we can only find that when we get shelter, we take his shelter. So all these dualities are because we can take shelter in him and find some stability there.
Yeah, so he has created a framework, you can say, a framework for us, a playground for us, where we can play to an extent and get the experience of this world, that is not such a wonderful place, and then have an inspiration to go back. This is one of the main reasons, because Living Unity want to play, it says, play as God. Living Unity want to play as God. So God says, okay, you want to play God, go to, the kids play area is called time zone. Anyone been to time zone? Be honest, I've been. The time zone, and there's avatar game, video game. You play and you choose a character. What do you call? Simpson. Simpson, is that the right word? I'm not sure. Simpson, you choose a character, you play as Simpson. You play as Simpson's father, Simpson's son. You choose a character, you play. And you play for 1 hour or 2 hours, and then you shoot others, so someone else shoots you. But while you are playing, you really feel, I am this person. When you drive that kid's car, what do you call? Bumping car? Please correct me if I'm wrong. I know what I'm saying, but I don't remember the name. Rupam Prabhu is
Called
saying yes.
go-kart.
Huh?
Go-kart.
Go-kart. No, not go-kart, that bumping car. Okay, whatever.
Riding
Go-kart.
car, ride-on car, Prabhu.
Huh?
Ride-on car.
Ride-on car. There's a small electric car.
It's a bumping car. Probably you bump from the back. You drive.
Prabhu ने कह दिया तो सत्य होगा. He is the authority. He has a lot
No,
of
that's so
experience. He helps devotees to go there sometimes. Anyway, so when you're driving the car, do you feel that you are not the car? You feel you are the car. You want to go fast, you want to overtake others, and you want to go this way and that way, go as fast as you can, overtaking all of the people because you think you are the car. So living entity want to play God in the material world. So God says, okay, there's a small area where you can have a body, you can have your kids and husband and wife and parents and friends and job and money and investment, and you just literally play God. I am the God of this home. I'm the God of this company. And then when you're tired, you come back to me. So mostly people who are here in the material world have this enjoying mentality. Obviously, some are not, like Prabhupada or these spiritual masters. They are not come here. They are sent here by God to rescue us. So yes, it's like a framework which is created by God so that we can fulfill our material desires. And once we are completely fed up, we say, Krishna, please take me out. Ai nanda tanaja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam madao. I'm fallen in this material ocean of birth, and please pick me up and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. So when we have that crying, praying mentality for Krishna, then Krishna picks up. Tasmad aham samudharta mrityu sansara sagarat. I am the deliverer from mrityu sansara sagarat. I'll pick you up. I'll pick you up. You would have seen that picture, Krishna on the Garuda lifting that man in the ocean, and he's saying, please save. Charu Mataji, is that sort of okay? Yeah. Charu Mataji always asks a question which is suitable for like the whole seminar. Practical questions. From end to, a lot of topics she covers. Very nice. Okay. Bhayam, abhayam. So similar thing. So I give fear, fearfulness, and fearlessness. And who is fearful? Next one. Who was I? This
devotees.
Devotees. Mohit, we can say bhaya and abhaya.
So basically, here we talk about
devotees are fearful.
No, they are fearlessness.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
And who sends this fearlessness? Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Because they're serving Krishna. So they become fearless.
Yeah, because they surrender to Krishna. So there's no fear for them.
There's no fear. Even the death comes, as we're discussing about Kadam Kanan Maharaj, no problem. Death comes, no problem. Okay. Ahimsa Samata Tushtis. Quick translations. I think this verse will take the. Priya Mataji, you have a question for Mohit Prabhu? Please go for it. You can call him.
Actually, no. I had a question about this bhayam. So just saying that devotees don't have fear because they're fixed in Krishna consciousness. So obviously to the level of our fixed mind being fixed in Krishna consciousness will determine our level of how much we don't have, how much we are not fearful of death or anything else in the material world. So it's devotees. I just want to maybe there is a probably like is it correctly to say that devotees who are constantly fixed in Krishna consciousness all day, or like utilize all their time, the 24 hours in the day, they maximize their time in Krishna consciousness, are because they unfortunately like I'm not mentioning like, I'm just saying like there's devotees who are not able to maximize those times and they're still struggling. So there is fear, even though
you're right, Mata. You already said that the amount of time we spend, quality time, I mean, for Krishna's seva, that much we become fearless. Ye thamam prapaddante tam sathai bhajamyam. That principle applies actually in all aspects of our life. The more we surrender to Krishna, the more we overcome death. In the sense of fearfulness of the death. Normal people, they are so fearful. Devotees are like, chalega, job chali jayegi, chalega. Family interruptions, health interruptions. We not sort of literally so much get engrossed into these things. Yeah, we are also fearful, but not so much. If accident happens, it's all right. Not the end of the world, We still read Bhagavatam in the hospital. What do you do? We have operation. No problem. Next 40 days, you cannot move out of the bed. That's the best time you hear, you read. So much to do. Devotees just never stop, just never stop. They change the service, but never leave the service. And the more you're absorbed, as we again talking about Hemanga Maharaj, he was completely sort of fearless. Parikshit Maharaj, completely fearless. Death will come, so what? Please, I want to hear more katha, more katha, more katha. And then he changes the body and he's Golok Vrindavan. No problem at all. So devotees, asochan, anusochastam, pragyavadan sabhasuche. So we do not limit just for the body. There's nothing much to limit. So that principle which you mentioned is the sort of a key for us. And if we are fearful, that means we are not doing our devotion properly. And I met one devotee, I'll not name, in our community. He said, he said, I was very fearful in the beginning of my years. Now, as I practice Krishna consciousness, he had some sort of fear, a physical form as well. He said, as I practice Krishna consciousness, actually, I'm becoming lighter, and he feels good. He's happy because he's saying, I'm not fearful. It's all right. I can handle the situations. Whatever happens, happens. So we all of us feel like that. Many interruptions come in our life, and where the other people will get mad on those things. They will stop their life. They'll go in depression, take drugs and whatnot. We are like living sort of a normal life. It's all right. Krishna, thank you for what we have given us, because that is helping us to increase our Krishna consciousness. Okay, let's move forward. Ahimsa. Normal definition and Krishna conscious definition. Who has not spoken as yet? Satyabhama Mataji. Okay, just before you say Mataji, I think Rasanand Prabhuji has a question or comment.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mata.
Actually, regarding this fear, mainly I think devotees would have the fear whether they can remember Krishna at the time of death. Yeah. That is a positive one or the negative?
Okay, positive as well as negative. I'll tell you one incident of Prabhupada which I remember. Prabhupada said, I only have two problems with my devotees, my disciples. He said, my disciples are not reading my books enough. That's one complaint which Prabhupada made in his lectures, openly. You're not reading enough. You're distributing a lot, but not reading enough. And second, he said, my disciples are not fearful enough of Maya. Not fearful enough. So being fearful of Maya can be a positive sign as well. But if you're constantly fearful of Maya, then actually it's not a positive sign, because you're focusing more on Maya, less on Krishna. But our process is to become Krishna conscious, not Maya conscious. Many times some devotees, say aspiring devotees, struggling devotees, have some problems in their life, right? Which they are struggling, they want to overcome. Some guilt they have, something they have done, and they become guilt conscious. Oh, I'm so low, I'm so low, I'm so... But that's not our philosophy. Our philosophy is to focus on Krishna, focus on good qualities. If you are doing one good thing and say two bad things, what you should focus on to progress? One good thing. Because if you're always focusing on two bad things, you will never overcome. My Guru Maharaj says, suppose you have lots of things which you want to overcome, you want to become a very good devotee, but you have some problems which you are struggling, right? That's fine. He said, do not focus on those, because you find yourself weak. So he said, do what you can do, maybe a small thing. And then if you constantly do it again and again and again, then you'll get the strength to overcome those things which you could not do for Krishna. Suppose B and C you could not do because you didn't have enough. So you can only do A for Krishna. Do A, he said, more often with more intensity. You can do A, just do A. After 1 year, 2 years, 3, you'll get the strength so that you can overcome B and C as well. Because many times we become, oh, I'm such a bad devotee. I have anger, I have greed, I have this and that. But that's not our process at all. We should be able to overcome, but it's not an overnight process. Our process is you focus on Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If I am Krishna conscious, all my lust, greed, anger, fear, everything will go away. Everything will go away. I just need to serve Krishna, follow the instruction of my Guru. And Radheshyam Prabhu says very nicely, he said, you don't have to do anything, just follow the instruction of Guru. He's like very simple, straightforward. If you follow instruction of, you don't think I will reach to Krishna Loka, I'm a good devotee, I'm bad. Radheshyam Prabhu is so simple and straight. Just follow the instruction of your spiritual master. That's it. That's all you have to do. Don't worry about someone giving a certificate. Oh, you are such a great devotee, or you are not a great devotee. You have anger. Chalega. Chalega. Arjun, was told to become angry. Hanuman became angry to serve Krishna. Now, that's a very high situation, but the point is the process is simple, but it's not cheap. It's not cheap. Krishna is not cheap, but process is quite simple actually. We make it complex. We make it super complex, but we should not worry too much about our negative qualities or about negative situations. That's not the process. Focus on the positive. Slowly you will get strength to overcome the negative. So coming back to your question, we should be not fearful, I will say concerned. Yes, will I be able to remember Krishna or no, in a positive sense? So I can practice more. If I practice more and more and more, simple example, if you watch a cricket match for 8 hours, what you will remember after cricket match? Watching cricket match, that 6 and that 4, and he's so stupid, he got bowled in 0 run or whatever, right? That's what you're discussing. So if you have Krishna for 8 hours, you'll think about Krishna. So have Krishna whole life, you'll think about Krishna. That's the probability. And then we are not fearful. In Varahadev tells to Bhumi Devi in Varaha Puran, there's a shloka, which I obviously don't remember. Varahadev tells to Bhumi Devi, the people who have remembered me throughout their life, I personally make arrangements for them so that even if there's some unfortunate situation where they cannot remember me, I will make arrangements for them so that they can remember me and come to me. This is my promise. Varahadev is speaking to Bhumi Devi in Varaha Puran. So Krishna is very kind God, very, very kind God. He's not a fault-finding God. He is sort of finding even the smallest good quality in us and sort of expanding it. That's why his name is Jagannath. He sees with big eyes. He doesn't even have eyelid. What good this living entity has done to me. And he says, when you go with your faults in front of Jagannathji, he becomes Ranganath. He sleeps. He closes your eyes towards your bed. So Krishna is so good. He is so kind, so kind. Don't worry about the negatives. Just move positive. Marte samay, by the time of death, Krishna will be there or no, we don't know. But Krishna will make arrangement. We just do our duty. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Do our best and leave the rest to Krishna.
Leave the rest. Radheshyam Prabhu ki jai. That's what we can do. We have no control. We'll die in accident, heart attack, in ICU, in Corona, in Honolulu. So how we will know all this? But what we do know, what I can do today, that we know. That's it. Tomorrow, Krishna will arrange something if tomorrow comes.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. It's again such a nice verse. Okay, ahimsa, very quick one. Prabhupada has made this definition many times. Where I was, Satyabhama Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So ahimsa refers to, Prabhuji, non-violence, and you mentioned that giving others opportunity to grow in Krishna consciousness is called ahimsa in spiritual context.
So we should not just be here about the physical hinsa or physical ahimsa, mental ahimsa, but spiritual ahimsa. We should become spiritual ahimsa, non-violent. And how we become non-violent in that sense? We give as much as possible opportunity to others to grow. And Prabhupada, if you're stopping someone in growing in Krishna consciousness, you're doing hinsa. Now that hinsa can happen in our house, in our temple, in our community, isn't it? We trying to prove I am better than you. I'm not giving others opportunity for doing the seva. I'm not facilitating. I'm holding on to my position, my power, my words, or whatever way I can hold, so that I can prove I am the best. Actually, I am becoming the violent for my community or for my family, for my dear ones, because I'm stopping them in growing in Krishna consciousness. And you see, Prabhupada, he was so much appreciative of even the smallest seva done. The smallest seva, you'll appreciate all the devotees. So you will encourage them, do more seva for Krishna. If someone brings a flower, you will appreciate, oh, you are so nice. I heard in somewhere in class, he said sometimes people will bring potato for the deities, just one potato instead of flower. Like in India, we'll not take a potato, we'll take a banana or a apple or something. But that's they said, bring something for Krishna, and people will bring anything for Krishna. And Prabhupada appreciate all of them. So nice, you're serving Krishna. And then slowly the consciousness will increase. What Krishna can accept and what Krishna can't. Samta.
Sorry, Prabhuji, can I just ask a question as
yes,
well?
Mataji, please.
Question in regards to death, when we were talking about when the death comes and we should leave up to Krishna, and for great personalities, Prabhu, when, let's say Maharajji left the body and Vishnu Dut might have come, or, Krishna might have come to pick him up. So like a person goes through when at the time of death, we've also heard that, a lot of, when the death comes, the Scorpios, it feels like a Scorpio's biting your body.
10,000 scorpions at the same time.
10,000 Scorpios, yeah.
At the same time.
Does a Krishna conscious person has to go through that as well? Still,
No.
does he have to go?
No. And it also says for all of us in 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, if you are sort of aspiring devotee, so we are not devotees as yet, we are aspiring devotees. So even those people who are aspiring to become devotees, Yamdutas are not allowed to go to them. So fortunately, as per Bhagavatam, we will not see Yamdutas. That's what Shastra says. So that's why we should try our best. It's not like we take the benefit of the situation. Krishna is not stupid, he is not foolish, but he facilitates his devotees because Krishna takes charge of our life. We may still go through our suffering and past karma, but it's under Krishna's jurisdiction. That's great. It's not Maya's jurisdiction. And the example given is, suppose a person does some stealing, police catches him, and police is beating with the danda a lot. Now, if a mother catches the child while stealing, mother also is doing det tamacha here and there. Is there a difference between police beating the child and the mother beating a child? Is there a difference?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes.
People all looks confused, huh? Mother beating child is out of love, and police beating a child out of frustration. Maybe this man has a fight in the office or in the house and he's beating this person, huh? Putting all the frustration out on this thief. But mother beating a child is very different. So Krishna is like our mother. He may still beat us a little bit, but that's for our good. He's beating with love. When Maya beating us, beating like a policeman. So whom do you want to get beaten with? Krishna or Maya? That's you decide. So it says Thakurji or Thokare. You want Thakurji? So Thakurji le lo. Thokare. And maybe Vijay Gopi Mataji doesn't understand Thokare. Means beatings of Maya. So either we can choose Thakurji, Lord Krishna, or Thokare or Maya Devi. Huh? But one thing we have to choose. We cannot be anywhere else. Huh? Now, if Thakurji de Thokare, that's all right. If Krishna is putting us in some so-called unfortunate situation, that's very good actually. But Maya Devi is in one sense very cruel. Huh? Very cruel. Honest person. That's what you have done. I think Madhav Gopal Prabhu was giving class on Friday. He said very nicely, the material world is a restaurant where there is no menu. But you all come and you get what you get. You get what you deserve. There's no menu you can choose from. Huh? Can you choose? Dahi bada, samar bada, masala bada, this bada, that bada. No, only koda. Only beatings of Maya. Huh? The children come in the world crying. So he said, in this material world, everyone gets served, but there's no menu to choose from. You get what you deserve. So this is our situation.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Adidev Prabhu adding something. Samta. What does samta mean? Similar to ahimsa, equanimity. So what does equanimity mean? We should treat other in a sense where we give them equal opportunity to grow in Krishna consciousness. So equanimity is not just gender equanimity as the material world says, women liberation and all that. Now today is men liberation, I think. Is there a men liberation day? I'm not sure. Anyway, the word is upside down these days. Anyway, both of them are wrong. I'm not saying any one of guys. Samata here does not refer to your outside external body, American or Indian or Russian. What it refers to, are you giving enough opportunity, equal opportunity to others for them becoming devotees? That's equanimity. He's my friend. I'll call him for the class. My neighbor is very bad person. I'll not call him for the class. He should also be called for the class. Now, he may become devotee or not. He should also be given opportunity to receive some prasad, some Bhagavad Gita. I'm remembering Jambati Mataji distributing Bhagavad Gita anywhere. She was telling me some past times, how one Nepali couple got Bhagavad Gita. So, look for the opportunity and distribute this, whatever, prasad, book, Krishna, invite them for the temple program, any other program. That is called samta. Tushti, everyone knows Tushti. Santushti, now I'll say one verse from one Puran. So, Trishu Santosha Kartabhya, Bhojane Sudare Dhane. So, in three things you should always be satisfied with. Bhojane So anytime you get a bhojan, you get a thali, a plate, and you get something which you don't like, you say, "Ye kya banaya hai? What have you made today?" There's no salt here, there's no mircha there, it's not this and not that. Never complain, never complain. Now, all of you, please try. Don't complain. This is the best you could receive out of your deservingness. So whatever comes in the plate, burnt rice, no rice, dal with no namak, all chalega. Just eat with santushti. Bhojane sodare. Sodare means one's spouse. You should always be satisfied with. This is what Krishna has arranged. Sodare dhane, whatever dhan, wealth, money you get out of your honest hard work for 8 hours or 9 hours, that's it. Santushta trishu kartavya, santushta trishu na kartavya. And 3 things you should never be satisfied with. What is that? Swadhyay. What is Swadhyay? Reading newspaper, internet, surfing, shopping. Swadhyay refers to adhyan of kahan pe sale chal rahi hai, which sale is going on where. That's adhyan is called Swadhyay. Scriptural study. Jai Dharma Prabhu is Jai Dharma Prabhu. So we all study. Believe me, we all study. But what do we study? All these advertisements, advertisements, sale, this, that. There's no sale. It's all actually making you foolish. So Swadhyay, scriptural study, we should never be satisfied. I've done Bhakti Shastri assignment. You can do another assignment. You can study more. You can teach more. You can share more. That's Swadhyay. Japa. 16 mala ho gaya na. I've done my 16 rounds. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. I've done my duty. No. If you have time. So Swadhyay, Jap, Danayo, and Dan. What does Dan refers to? Is a big topic. In one sense, financial contribution, obviously, which you should also not stop. But the main Dan is Shabd Dan. Shabd Dan is the best Dan as per Bhagavatam. Gyan Dan. And Gyan about Krishna, knowledge about Krishna, you should do Dan more and more and more, as much as possible. Guru Maharaj was very much empathetic, like preach. Study and preach. No other business. No, he said job and this and that, this will just carry on. Don't worry about it. Study and preach. Get absorbed in Prabhupada books and share the knowledge.
Prabhu, quick one. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. What are the 3 things to be satisfied? One is food, money.
Food, money, and third thing Mataji will tell. Okay, so I'll say in Sanskrit. Trishu Santosha Kartavya, Swadare Bhojane Dhane. So we forgot the first one. Swadare. Swadara. Dara means Patni, wife. Swa means own. One's own wife. In English, we call it spouse. That's why I said Mataji will tell you that one. Swadare Bhojane Dhane. And the third 3 things not Swadhyay Jap Danayoho. So Swadhyay is scriptural study, Japa, chanting of the holy name of the Lord, and Danayo, Dan. That also means financial. Finance, if you can, you should do more. Why only like $100 a month? Why not 300? Why not 3,000? It's Krishna's money. It's not our money. So as much as possible, we should be practical, but at the same time, should not become kanjus, not miser. It's for Krishna. Krishna has given $100 today. He will give 100 more tomorrow. If tomorrow he gives 10, then you give $1. You give $1. If he gives no money, no problem. You still think Vasudevji thought when Krishna appeared in the jail, Vasudevji thought in his mind, I don't know the exact number, I will donate 10 lakh cows, a big number. I can't remember the exact number, but think good. You get good out of, so what's the cost of thinking good? In Kaliga, you get good reaction by thinking. So think good. Think, I wish I can make a new dress for Radha Gopinath. When you go in front of Radha Gopinath, next time think about it. Radha Gopinath, I want to make a new dress for you in Janmashtami. Does it cost any money? No one is asking you any money for that. You can think and pray. Krishna, it's only $2,500. You can all do it. So this time, Ghanshyam Prabhu is going to get 20 phone calls. Prabhuji, I want to sponsor Radha Gopinath dress. Why not? We can do it. What's such a big deal in that? Do half, do partial. Now, not selling Radha Gopinath dress today. The point is, you should do more. You should do more. It's possible. Okay, tapa, austerity. Many types of austerity we'll read in 17th chapter as well. That comes from Krishna. Danam, we spoke a little bit about Dan. Yash and ayashaha. Sometime infamy comes to you, and believe it, it comes from Krishna as well. So we should not be anytime disturbed in our mind Not that we should do disturbing things. That's not recommended. Suppose you have done the right thing, still you get infamy. You should not be disturbed out of that. This is my karma. Infamy is also a result of my pap karma, my sinful reactions. So accept it. You keep serving Krishna. Keep serving. Krishna understands me. My guru understands me, and that's good enough. Now, devotee should also understand you, but sometimes it does happen. You should not be disturbed. Okay.
Prabhuji, what
Yes.
would be a good example of devotee getting infamy?
Many examples. I remembering that Alvar, who again, which I don't remember the name, but he associated with this prostitute for a few days. He got a lot of infamy, and king put him in jail. He's saying, "You're a devotee. You're doing this," and he accepted it. Like, sorry, I made a mistake. But he got a lot of infamy. He was a famous devotee. Another example which comes to my mind.
Oh, Ajamil?
Ajamil did not get infamy. He wasn't to be started with in that phase. He wasn't a devotee. Now, Jiva Goswami does say he was a devotee actually earlier. And there's a lot of pastime on Ajamil as well. He got cursed in a previous life. Anyway, so in that life, you can't. So if you take example of this life, there's another example which comes to my mind.
Is
Forgot the name.
Bharat Maharaj from Ramayana.
Okay, thank you, Mata. Very nice example. Bharat got infamy. It says Ayodhyavasis will pick up the stones and throw at Bharat. He used to take bath in Saryu at 1 in the night. Because whenever he will children will see him, they will throw patthar. They will throw stones on him. Another example comes to my mind in Jagannath pastime. When Jagannath came to this person, forgot the name. Anyway, he said, "Chalo aaj kathel churayenge." We will steal kathel, jackfruit. Anyone remembers the name of this person? And Jagannath took him for stealing kathel, and he's saying, "Jagannath, if you want to have kathel, let the king know, and king will give you kathel." कहते चुरा के खाने में बहुत मजा है. If you steal and then eat, that is a great fun. Raghudas, you don't know that taste when you steal and then eat. I know that taste. I've been stealing in Vrindavan my whole life. Raghudas says, "Maharaj, I will get in trouble." Jagannath says, "Don't worry." But Jagannath is heavy. He's a big body, Have you been to Jagannath Puri? You'll see Jagannath is huge. Now imagine Jagannath walking. So first Raghudas, he has to climb a wall, then go over the wall, and then he stood under the kathel tree. And Jagannath tells this, Raghudas, you go on the tree. And he said, "Me? Go on the tree?" He said, Raghudas was only lean and thin person. He said, "You go and you throw the kathel and I will catch the kathel." Kathel means jackfruit, Vijay Gopi Mataji. So you throw the kathel. Raghudas went up and Jagannath said, "That's a big one. That's a pakawala. That's a very ripe one. Give me that. And Raghudas cut it and throw it. When he threw, Jagannath disappeared. It went into the ground. All the soldiers came. Raja ka Sipahi, all the soldiers of the king came. And he said, "Oh, Raghudas, you are such a great devotee. You are stealing kathel." Raghudas was put into the jail. He said, "Jagannath, you put me in this situation." Jagannath, and he's telling to soldiers, "No, Jagannath personally came and he asked me to steal." He said, yes, we understand. Jagannath personally came. He told you to steal kathel. Chalo Raja ke paas. Let's go to king. And king also, yes, says, "Raghudas, we understand." And Raghudas, "I'm telling the truth." Jagannath came. Later, Jagannath came to the dream of this king, and they said, "No, actually, I told Raghudas to steal the kathel." So many pastimes, and people were put into difficulty. Now, Raghudas and all that, they are again great Vaishnavas. They are great Vaishnavas. We are not so great, but we are also put into difficulty, but for our benefit. It's hard for us to understand, but for our benefit, because we learned so many nice lessons out of those difficulties. So, okay.
Even Srivas Thakur was given defamy by the local Brahmana.
Local MP. Yeah, I forgot his name. Yes, Mataji. He has put this machli and daru ka bottle in front of Shiva's gate and saying he's a Durga Pujak, not a Krishna Pujak. Yes, you're right. Thank you.
Radharani also gets, in Braj when they.
Radharani gets defamy.
Yes.
Here we are. Mohit Braj Katha. Okay, Sundaran Prabhu. Sundar Gopal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just going back to that story of Raghunath and Jagannath ji, why would Jagannath do such thing? Instigate him.
He want to increase the glory of Raghudas actually. So if a devotee goes to jail, it will come in the newspaper. Now, non-devotees go, no one cares. When you go to the jail, one person goes to the jail because he's a respectable person. So he put in so-called infamous situation, but then he became so famous. The whole country knew about him actually. Whole country. Raghudas is stealing cattle. Raghudas is stealing cattle. Everyone is talking only one thing: Raghudas, Raghudas, Raghudas. So they become Raghudas council. And next time when the news comes, Jagannath definitely came. Then imagine the respect of people grows for this Raghudas. He's such a devotee. I thought he's just a poor person. He's a devotee, but not a devotee. Next day, king announcing Raghudas is getting released. I'm sorry. King goes and touches the feet of Raghudas. Oh, sorry, Raghudas. I misunderstood. King is also a Vaishnava. Actually. King is also a devotee. So the glory of Raghudas increases. So much faith increases. Now, again, sorry to say, Jagannath cannot use boys like me and you. Sorry. We are already, fallen. Maharaj said, no, Radhagovind Maharaj. If someone on the ground, where does he fall it to? You're on the ground already. But one falls from from 3-story, then it's appreciative. He was on the 3rd story. So Raghudas is getting used in this pastime. We cannot handle, Prabhu. We cannot handle. If we go to jail, we're like, Krishna, why me? Why this? Why now? Huh? Raghudas is a great example. And others, she was Thakur, same. Very nice example. Radharani. Radharani is getting lot of apayash, lot of infamy. She can handle. Okay, let's move forward. We have done a whole seminar on this verse. Okay, it's only 5 o'clock. 10.6. Let's start. Who hasn't done as yet? Manmohan Prabhu is here. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Been silently hearing all the fun. Okay, Prabhu.
Nice. Maharahasya saptapurve.
Maharshayah saptapurve.
Chatvaro manavastatha.
Chatvaro manavastatha.
Madbhava manasa jata.
Madbhava manasa jata.
Yesham loka imam praja.
Yesham loka imam prajaha.
Translation: the 7 great sages, and before them the 4 other great sages, and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So Maharsheha Sapta. So we all understand Sapta, Sat, Maharishi. So these Maharishis. And before that, Purve, even before that, Chatvaro. Who's Chatvaro? Char. 4 Kumaras. Huh? So before Maharishis, these 4 Kumaras came because they're the son of Brahma, first son of Brahma. Manavas Tatha, and all the Manavas. Huh? Madbhava Manasa Jata. They all come from me. And then after coming from me, Yesham Loka Ima Praja. They produce this Praja in this universe. Huh? Like we know Prajapatis are there, Manus are there. Huh? They all come. And for what purpose? Manu and Shatrupa, for example, they're starting Manav Jati because Manav name has come from Manu. So all these great personalities have come from me and they have sort of populated the whole universe. Huh? So Maharshya Saptapurve Chatvaro Manavas Tatha Madbhava Manasa Jata. So 7 great sages, and before them the 4 other great sages, which are the Char Kumaras and the Manu. So Manavas, Manu, progenitors of the mankind, come from me, born from Manasa Jata. They come from my mind. Ja means Janma, Manas Mane. So Brahmaji also has 10 Manasa Putra. Narad Muni is the youngest one. 4 Kumaras are the eldest one. Born from my Yesham Lok Ima Praja, and they populate the whole universe. Okay, 10.7. This is the second benefit of knowing Krishna. So 10.3 was giving the first benefit. 10.7 gives the second benefit, which is the more important benefit. Yes, Mahavaja Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Just curious to know, what is this Sapta Rishi? Like, is every time that you happen to listen to this, there are 7 rishis, and what is the importance of them? Okay. And it's obviously mentioned in more of the Vedas and so many of the Karma Kand also it is there. So that is also another thing. Okay, I'll give you a very brief, Prabhu. It's a big topic in itself. So every time in a day of Brahma, as we have read in 8th chapter as well, there are 14 Manus. We know that. In each Manu, when they come, so say first Manu is Swayambhu Manu, when they come, they have their cabinet ministry. A prime minister, Modi, will have their ministers. So each time in that cabinet ministry, there is a 7 seats saved for the 7 rishis. Huh? So when Swayambhu Manu comes, and I don't remember the name, but you can read in Bhagavad, it's all given.
So there are 7 rishis, like Vasishtha Rishi, Vishwamitra Rishi, Gautam Rishi, Atra Rishi, the 3 more. So when the Manu changes, the second Manu comes, the Sapt Rishis changes. Sometimes the Rishis also, so say Vasishtha Muni can go from 1 Manu to 2nd Manu as well, but other Rishis may change. It's all list is given. 8th canto, 1st or 2nd chapter, you will see, Prabhu. The extensive list is given, at least for 4 Manus, if I'm not wrong. And some given towards in the 9th canto as well. So these Saptarishis are the 7 positions for the sages. They are like a Brahman guide for the Manu. So Manu goes and take mantrana, like take guidance from these 7 topmost rishis of the universe. Because Brahmanas are supposed to give guidance. Manu is the king for that particular time by Manvantar, for that Manvantar, and Manvantar changes. Now cabinet ministry may change, completely may change, or some time they may say Vasishtha Muni is very qualified. Can you please take 1 seat out of these 7 seats? But every time they can change as well. So in 1 day of Brahma, you'll have 14 into 7 sort of set of Saptarshis. Is that okay?
Sorry, that's okay, but I just want like, is it like a position or it's
Yes,
the same person?
It's a seat.
So you mean to say Vasishtha Rishi would be like, it would be just the name of the person, but is it like no? So that is different.
Vasishtha is a person.
He's a person.
He sits.
So it's not a position then. Like Indra is a position.
No.
Right?
So Saptarishi is a position where 7 sages sit. Now, which 7 sages will sit? That will change.
Okay.
That will change. So Vasishtha Muni, say in Manvantar 1, he will be there. Manvantar 2, he may be there, may not be there. So the 7 rishis change. But it's a position. So 7 seats are reserved for these 7 Brahmanas who are going to guide the Manu and the administration.
Sorry, Prabhu, who decides that, Prabhu? Is it Brahma allocates that, or is it?
No, it's already pre-selected, and says like this is a democratic government where we select our leaders, but this is a selective government. Everything is written in Shastra already. Who is going to become Saptarshi in this Manvantar is already written. So it's nothing to choose from. Oh, can I choose Vasishtha Muni or Vishwamitra Muni? It's all written. And next Manvantar, this is what will happen. No one fights there. Actually, you know what? Can you select me? I'm better than Vasishtha Rishi. No one fights there. It's all pre-selected government. Everything is fully jotted down. Brahma just positions them, nothing much.
Okay.
So it just happens in Krishna's government like that. No fighting, no competition. Manmohan Prabhuji.
Sorry for my ignorance, Prabhu, just on the same topic. So I'm just curious, where exactly is like Vavasvata Manu is like currently the Manu. So where is he residing? Like, is he in Bhumandala or is he on the higher planetary systems? And also the Saptarishis, where are they residing basically? I mean,
okay. So generally speaking, there's no fixed residence, but they work from Brahmaloka. So all these big higher CEO offices are in Brahmaloka. And even from Delhi here, Delhi, there's a place called Chanakyapuri. Chanakyapuri, all the embassies are there. Brahmaloka is like that. It's for the super high personalities of the universe. They live in Brahmaloka. They don't have a fixed residence, like they don't have an office. They can create office wherever they like. So they will just do like Manan. A meeting is needed, just come, and everyone will just appear on the spot. They don't need like WhatsApp messages and groups. There's a Saptarshi group, there's a Devata group. They have all these WhatsApp installed in their mind, and they just have to remember. So most of them decide, they work from Brahmaloka. Their work location is Brahmaloka, and they work from home, and they do their tapasya as well. Now, where another question, where is Vavasvat Manu right now? Hard to say, Prabhu. It says Swambhu Manu, most of the time of his Karikal, is described in Srimad Bhagavatam and in lectures as well. He was not in his office, he was doing tapasya. So on 71.35 Chaturyugas, of which he is the king of that Manvantar, it says most of the time he was doing tapasya to Lord Vishnu. Very little time he will come out and look after here and there, just get the reports from his CEOs and then go back to tapasya. So they may be doing tapasya on Mahendra Parvat or somewhere else in the universe, hard to say. But they're not like necessarily sitting in their office 9 to 5 and then 5 o'clock they go home. So Brahmaloka is their office and then home is in, somewhere in the Gandharva planet, enjoying some pastimes with Gandharvas. Not like that. And whenever they need to meet, they just meet. on the spot, random meetings. So they are doing the same thing actually. They have perfect work-life balance. Perfect work-life balance. And what's their work life? Tapasya to Vishnu. Tapasya to Vishnu. Jai Dharma Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhu. That's I heard this Sapta Rishi Mandal, Prabhu. Is that also part
That's
of?
one manifestation.
Okay.
So you cannot sort of limit these personalities to just one particular location. That's one they can manifest themselves at different spots. So that's one manifestation of them. Saptarshi Mandal, Saptara, Dhruv Tara, all that. Okay. 10.7. Who hasn't read as yet? Deva Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Etam vibhutim yogam cha.
Etam vibhutim yogam cha.
Mama yo veti tatvataha.
Mama yo veti tatvataha.
So vikalpena yogena.
So avikalpena yogena.
Yujyate natra samshaya.
Yujyate natra sanshayah.
Translation. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. So, Etam Vibhutim Yogam. So, Vibhuti Yoga, the title of this chapter has come from this 10.7. As you can see, different chapters have different verses where the title is taken. Again, the title was not written by Vyasadeva. Later on, different rishis and acharyas have given the title. So, this is the Vibhuti Yoga. So, Etam Vibhuti. So, one who knows this Vibhuti Yoga, as I said, Vibhuti is a special, attractive personality or a thing in the material world, which takes our attention. Mam yo veti tattva, which is a similar verse in Bhagavad Gita elsewhere. Yo veti tattva, everyone knows that.
Evam yo veti tattva tattva degam punarjanma naiti mameti suarjana.
Janma karma cha medevyam evam yo veti tattva 4.9. Huh? So everyone knows that verse. So same thing is described here. Mam yo veti tattva. So tattva word is more important. Many people know Krishna, especially in India, if you see. But many people appreciate Krishna. Not many, very few. So one who knows Krishna in Tattvataha, I'll not go too much detail here. So avikalpena. So vikalpa refers to, everyone knows in Hindi, there's vikalpa, there's a vikalpa 1, vikalpa 2, option 1, option 2, option 3. Avikalpa means no other option. Like in your Bhakti Shastri exam, no vikalpa will be there. So if there are 50 questions to be attempted, you attempt 50 questions. Sometimes we have this, optional questions where I have given 4 options. You choose A, B, C, or D. But suppose you only have one option. Attempt 5 out of 5. It's called avikalpa. So one who knows Krishna, and again the word he is used here, tattvataha, like appreciates avikalpena yogena, he immediately absorbs himself in devotion service because he thinks there's nothing else worth for it. Let me serve Krishna. Avikalpena yogena. And Prabhupada writes, engages in unalloyed devotional service. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages avikalpena yogena, unalloyed devotional service. Yujyate means engagement. Avikalpa means no other option, like straight. I don't have to think, like right now, we are serving Krishna vikalpena or avikalpena. Be honest. We are serving Krishna, most of us, vikalpena. Krishna is all right, but what about my job? What about my property? What about my family? What about my respect? We have so many other agendas other than Krishna. Be honest. Krishna is not the number one priority. At least I can say all the time. Okay. One day Krishna may be top priority. Other day your health becomes priority. Your job becomes priority. Your finances become priority. Your family becomes priority. So many priorities. We keep changing. We keep changing. But a person who understands Krishna, tattvataha, he have no other priority other than Krishna. Avikalpena yogena. Yoga means to combine, to connect. Yujate, he engages himself. Na atra sanshaya. There is no doubt in that. You don't have to invite him for Mangala Aarti. He will be there. You don't have to tell him, Prabhu, have you chanted your 16 rounds? Prabhu, where is your sadhana card? Prabhu, are you attending classes these days? Prabhu, your attendance is going down. Prabhu, your assignment is not received. You don't have to do all this because he is doing bhakti avikalpena yogena. He puts Krishna as the top priority. Yes, Madhuri Mataji.
Prabhu, here, after we know or one person knows about the opulence or the mystic power of Krishna, only then he will be engaged in the devotional service, right? But where is bhava, like prema.
Tattvataha
Here,
word is used.
yeah,
Tattvataha
but
word.
that is tattvata is like factually he knows about the opulence and mystic powers, right? Where is
No.
prema bhava here?
Much more deeper than that. So tattvataha, again, tattvataha is not like, you know, say Narendra Modi is the prime minister. Yes, okay, he's a person, he's a prime minister, that's fine. But do you know him? And I'm not saying you should know him, but tattvataha, not really. Now, okay, I'll take example of Kittu. Many people may know Kittu, but do they know Kittu as well as you? You will know Kittu's all ins and outs, you know. What my boy like, what my boy doesn't like, what is healthy for him, what is not healthy for him, with all due respect to other people around him. They may like him, they may love him, but will they have as much liking and loving as mother and father? It's different love, it's different level of love. Huh? So Tattvata refers to that level of understanding of Krishna. It's just not the external show of his position. Oh, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like Bhakti Shastri Maharaj said, if you, many people, I'm sort of paraphrasing his words, but many people know Krishna, but they don't know. Many people think that Krishna is great, but they don't know how great he is, how actually great he is. If you know his greatness, you will have no other option except to love him. So knowing Krishna, that he is great, he is loving, at this level, like what we are, we don't understand Krishna in Tattvata, to be honest. We understand little bit, but when we understand how much love he has for us, and how these other things are so futile, then you will really love him. And that love is not so cheap, and that's what we are trying. And the second answer to your question, that's what Krishna is going to explain in the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, which we're going to understand now. Where is that prema, what you're asking? It will just come. But the word Tattvata is not just the vibhuti here. Tattvata means vibhuti is external, obviously, Krishna's external features, but internal heart, where Krishna is saying, na patram pushpam phalam toyam. Now, what can you give Krishna? Now, can you please anyone in the world with patram pushpam phalam toyam, Prabhuji or Mataji, you know, I love you so much, so take this patta and be happy with me. Which person will be happy with you? You know, they come to your house, I'm sure, you know, you cook so many nice prasadam preparations for them. Now, suppose they're very hungry, some devotee come, Mataji, I'm very hungry. You give them some toya, some water, a drop of Ganga Jal water, and say, Prabhu, be satisfied with this. How many people you can satisfy? You go to your workplace and say, my boss, I really like you. Take this patta and pay me. Will your boss pay you? So you cannot satisfy the people of this world with this patram pushpam phalam toyam. This is a simple example, but you can buy Krishna. Vikranite swa atmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktvasala. Just by Ganga jal matrena jalase, tulsi dal matrena jalase chulkenma, vikranite swa atmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktvasala. With the tulsi patta and Ganga jal, you can buy me. That's what Krishna is saying. Can anyone buy in this material world a person with the tulsi patta and Ganga jal? What to speak? Abhi to dollar note chahiye, huh? We need dollar note to buy a person. And depending on that person's position, the dollar note will vary. Huh? People buy us for 8 hours. They pay us money, right? We all work in the company. We work for 8 hours. We get some pay. And if they don't pay us and they say, Prabhuji, you are so nice. You are so nice. And you'll say, but Prabhuji, where's my pay? Prabhuji, but you are so nice. But Prabhuji, where's my pay? So your love will only last for that 8 hours, and after that you never want to see that person again. So Tattvata word is quite deep here. Okay, is it okay, Madhuri Mataji?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Priya Mataji.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. I just wanted to add that, you know, you said Krishna loves us, but we don't understand that love. We know him just we only know the little amount. If we find out, you know, really understand Krishna, then we'll develop more love.
Yes.
So I think also in that context, we can say that when Krishna puts us in certain situations, we kind of tend to think opposite. We're saying that, oh, why did Krishna do this to me? Why did Krishna put me in this place, in this with this person, or with this job, or whatever? So I think in that way we can. It is hard, but then I feel like that Krishna, you know, is love us and he wants us to come closer to him, but we don't see that in that situation. So every time we feel distressed. I think he keeps reminding us we have to, you know, come back and remember him only.
Yes, it's a very good point. And if we realize that point more and more in our life, we start loving Krishna, because he's saying this is not a very nice place. Prabhupada said this place is not a place for gentlemen. It's not a place for gentlemen. You are here somehow or other, just get out, do your business and get out. So Krishna is reminding us, don't try to make a comfortable situation in this material world. Guru Maharaj used to say, why are we trying to solve these material problems? Now, it doesn't mean you should not solve, but don't overboard on it, that you have to settle everything and solve everything. No one will be able to settle everything and solve everything. There will always be some problems hanging in your life. Don't worry so much. You serve Krishna. You serve Krishna. And the more you serve Krishna, all these material problems will not go, but will become insignificant. And as Radhanath Maharaj always said, you have to transcend to the problems. Problems will not stop coming. You have to transcend to the problems. And that's the real situation. You cannot stop the dualities of this material world. Dualities will always be there. Okay, nice. Now let's start this one of the most important section of Bhagavad Gita. It is called, as everyone knows, Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. Now this word Chaturshloki, as much as I have read and heard, was given by Ramanujacharya, who is a great Acharya of Sri Sampradaya. And later on, all the successors, Acharyas, they have sort of followed the similar nomenclature, which is Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. Now this Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita is a condensed philosophy of Bhagavad Gita in one place, in 4 shlokas. So it's, in one sense, you can say the Sar of Bhagavad Gita. Now, I know I have said Sar of Bhagavad Gita is 9th chapter now. There is another commentary that's also valid. This is another commentary which says the Sar of Bhagavad Gita, the summary of Bhagavad Gita, the whole philosophy in a condensed version is given in these 4 verses. Now, what are these 4 verses? Before we get inside it, let's understand something from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains in Chaitanya Charitamrita what are the 3 different steps which we have to sort of take to achieve Krishna. So one is called Sambandha, one is called Abhideya, one is called Prayojan. So Sambandha means relationship. So first we have to think about establishing the relationship with the Lord. Simple example can be given. You look at a house or a car, something like that, and you say, oh, this house is very nice. How much? 2.5 million only. So, but oh, that's high. I wish I could buy it. Something like that. Things come to your mind. So in your mind, even if you go back home, the things are coming, all the flashy lights of the house, 3-story house in the middle of the ocean and blah, blah, blah. All these things come into your mind. So this is Sambandha. Sambandha means you are attracted to that particular thing or a person, right? So this Sambandha in Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, we have to establish with Krishna. That is called Sambandha Gyan. Who gives that Sambandha Gyan? The presiding deity of S or Sambandha is Radha Madan Mohan. Why Radha Madan Mohan? Madan means Cupid or lust. We all get attracted to Cupid in this world, lust to this world. But who can attract that Cupid? Madan is called Madana Mohan. Mohan means one who can even attract, mohit, bewildered, Cupid. That is called Madan Mohan. And who can attract this Radha Madan Mohan?
Madan
Radha
Mohan
Madan
Mohini.
Mohini. Thank you. So Radha, I should say Madan Mohan Mohini. She can even attract Krishna. Anyway, that will come later. So Madan Mohan is our Sambandha deities. Why Sambandha deities? Because right now we have Sambandha with Madan. And what our Sambandha should be for Madan Mohan, because he has that power. Now, we are not able to see at this stage, but he has that power. It's called Sambandha. Abhideya. Abhideya is the process by which you're trying to procure that thing. Suppose you're buying a house, you need a loan, for example, $2 million or something like. You go to Westpac and say, give me your pay slips and your credit card and this and that. All these things you get. And they say your pay is not enough to get $2 million loan. So what do? You go and work hard. You accumulate money, accumulate money, accumulate money. And then this process of accumulating that house, for example, is called Abhideya process. And that Abhideya can be for many things. We do Abhideya process for our studies, for our bright future. We study 20 years, we study. That's Abhideya. And what is the Prayojan? Prayojan is when you own the house, you enter into the house. Yeah, I got it. I am the proud owner of this house. I'm proud owner of this car or whatever. So It can be a dress as well. Someone likes a dress, $500 dress or something like that. So this is called Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan. So Abhideya is the process. What is Abhideya in our terms? Our devotional service. So right now, what are we doing? We understand theoretically at least our Sambandha with Radha Madan Mohan or Krishna in simple terms, you can say. And now right now we have no realization, obviously, at least I can say for myself. But we are doing devotional service as a process to achieve what? Prayojan. Prayojan is the end goal. What is the end goal in our Krishna consciousness? Prema. We want to achieve prema of Krishna, love for Krishna. That is the prayojan. So Sambandha is the relationship. The deities are Radha Madan Mohan. Abhideya is the process by which you want to achieve the prayojan, which is prema. And the deities for Abhideya is Radha Govinda Ji. Okay, thank you, Deva Mataji. And the final one, prayojan deities, Deva Mata can say?
Radha Gopinath.
Haribo. So somehow or other, by great fortune, arrangement by Krishna, we have no control, obviously. We have been gathered here in the temple of Radha Gopinath. So whole day and night we see Radha Gopinath. We talk about Radha Gopinath. We go and serve a little bit to Radha Gopinath. They are actually the prayojan deities. They are the topmost. So Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govind, and Radha Gopinath. You say Radha Gopinath is the prayojan. Prayojan means everything. Is the Gopika Nath. He is the Nath of the best of the devotees, which is the gopis of Vrindavan. So these three things are there. Now these verses explain the whole philosophy of Sambandha, Abhideya, in Prayojan in 4 verses. So it says 4 verses has the condensed philosophy of the whole Bhagavad Gita, and 10.8 is the condensed philosophy of all the 4 verses. So 10.8 has SAP, all 3 aspects, Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan. So 10.8 is very, very important because actually it has everything what a devotee needs in their life. Now 10.9 will talk about Abhideya and 10 Abhideya and Prayojan, and 10.10 and 11 will talk about Abhideya in more details. That means how you achieve Krishna. So that's the whole thing which is explained in these 4 verses. So let's read 10.8 and see what is the S, what is the A, what is the P, and how we can sort of apply these verses in our life. Charu Mataji.
Prabhu, who decides that these deities are Radha Govindji or Radha Gopinath?
Okay. I would only say this is written in our scriptures by our acharyas, and other acharyas have accepted it, and that's coming down in the parampara. And they may have better explanation as well. Like Madan Mohan, I can understand a little bit. Govind says, because he gives pleasure to the senses. Right now, who is giving us pleasure? Generally speaking, Madan is giving. The Cupid of the word is giving us pleasures. Material sense beatification is giving the pleasure. But when Govind takes over, Govind means Krishna takes over, then he starts giving pleasure to us. So it's Abhideya. When we serve Krishna, we get more pleasure. Like when we came, I don't know, 20 years ago to Radha Gopinath, we didn't have so much pleasure in serving the Lord. Now we have little taste. I would not say a lot of taste, but we like to serve in whatever little way we are trying to serve Krishna. So that is Radha Govind. And Gopinath is the Lord of the gopis. So that is considered the Prayojan deities. Is that in the right direction which you were asking?
Prabhu, I would like to understand who decides that these are Gopinath deities, these are, they should be.
Sorry. Okay. Who decides the name of the deities?
Yes, okay. And that so once you give the name, obviously, then we know that these are Prayojan deities or Sambandha deities.
Okay, so your question is quite different. Very good question. Who gives the name of these deities? So two answers are given. One answer is, like for example, Prabhupada gave these deities what we are serving in Sydney temple right now as Radha Gopinath. So acharyas give the name of the deities. And many times, based on the leelas which those deities are doing with the devotees in that particular temple, it can be before the pre-installation as well. No, Krishna is doing some leela. Based on the leela, they will find the deities that we should have this deity. Like for example, in Mayapur, Narsingadev deity, as we know, a lot of story about Narsingadev, how they particularly came in the Narsinga, in the temple of Mayapur. So the name of the Narsingadev deity, this Ugra Narsinga deity, which is Chaitanya Ugra Narsinga. So So in Narsinga, as we know, there are 9 different forms of Narsinga. On a very high level, I'm talking that actually more than 9. On a 9 different forms of Narsinga. In that Narsinga also, he is Chaitanya Ugra Narsinga. So that was based on before he appeared actually. So like committee decided we need Ugra Narsinga, but when he came, actually he was seen as Narsingadev, who's Ugra, but in the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's very kind. He's very, very kind. And so many devotees actually have interactions with Lord Narsingadev. Many pujaris have interactions. Many like visitors have interaction with the Narsingadev deity. So it can happen both ways, Mataji. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, Rupam Prabhuji.
Prabhu, just confirming, did you say the presiding deities for Prayojan is Radha Govind? For Abhideya, it's Radha Gopinath, and for
Prayojan is Gopinath. Right. So we'll start from number 1, Madan Mohan, which is Sambandha. Abhideya is Radha Govind, and Prayojan is Radha Gopinath. Govind because he takes over your senses. Right now, our senses are getting pleasure by Maya, and then Govind will give you pleasure. And we can all experience that. We don't have a lot of experience, but we do have some experience. We want to go to temple. We like going to temple. We like mopping the floor. We like doing something for Gopinath. Some little bit, at least little bit. We all have a drop somewhere we have in our heart for Gopinath.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Prabhu, this verse is also important because it's one of the verses to
Hari Bol,
remember.
so please note down for exam as well. It's important.
10.8 and 10.10.
Oh, no 11, huh? Wow, okay. But please remember, 4 verses, they're not difficult. And I'm sure most of the devotees will know because they teach their children. Every parent have learned from their children by teaching them. Anyway, let's read this first verse. Maybe Rupam.
Prabhu, I had a question actually.
Yes, Prabhu.
I couldn't see the hand symbol here. Sorry.
Hand symbol.
So yeah, Prabhu. So the thing is like, how does it matters actually? Whether Madan Mohan, Govinda, or Gopinath. If we are not thinking about that like that in our day-to-day devotional service. So what impact it has? I don't just had a doubt about it.
Very, very good question, Prabhuji. On a day-to-day life, we don't experience that. But Prabhu, when we go deeper in our devotional life, actually these deities will be guiding us on a different level. And if you really want to see the situations in our life, we will see that this particular situation is created by Krishna so that I can have better relationship with Krishna. If you want to serve Krishna, they say, for example, Yashoda Nandan Krishna. So what are we doing? We are saying you're the son of Mother Yashoda. So you're serving Krishna in that mood. If you're serving Krishna in Radha Giridhari, you're serving Krishna in that mood. So when you're serving Krishna in Radha Madan Mohan or Radha Govind, actually you develop those sort of feelings, and then deities also reveal those things to you. Now we are not contemplating too much, to be honest, at this stage, but we should. When we have problem in something, we should go to that particular deity. That we go to Madan Mohan. Madan Mohanji, I'm so attracted to this material, but even after listening and hearing, so many instructions for years and years, I'm still attracted to the material world, and I'm not able to get out of this. Prabhu, just give me 1 second. I just have to open the door, and I'll be back. Sundar Gopal, Prabhu, maybe you can just read some verse in the translation. I'll be back in 1 second.
Sure, Prabhu. I think we can read this verse translation.
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll do this. Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Aham sarvasya prabhavo.
Matah sarvam pravartate.
Matah sarvam pravartate.
Iti matva bhajante mam.
Iti matva bhajante mam.
Buddha bhava samanvita.
Buddha bhava samanvita.
Translation by His Loving Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts.
I'm back. So this is done.
We just recited the verse and the translation.
Thank you. Prasannatma Prabhu, is that give you a little explanation. We don't think, but we do get guidance, and we should pray to the particular deities if we have. But if we are not able to perform devotion service well, we should pray to Radha Govind Ji that please give me strength. If you're not able to understand our prayojan, we should pray to Radha Gopinath. So in that sense, they do matter.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay. Mahasa Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, just want to know, like, obviously everyone knows this is a Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, right? That's true. But what was Srila Prabhupada's view on this when it was said that this is like 4 slokas are the keys? So what did Prabhupada say? Prabhupada would have a different idea, maybe, or maybe would have said that no, there are some of the verses which are more important than this. Like predominantly always quoted that 18.66, one of the most main important verses. So what is the view of Prabhupada on this?
I have not heard anything, at least in my knowledge, where Prabhupada has not quoted them as Chatushloki. So Prabhupada also respected the same opinion. So now different times Prabhupada did quote different verses, like 4.9 Jankaran Chame, he quoted a lot. Many verses Prabhupada quoted, but Prabhupada agreed to this as much as I know. So Prabhupada never had a different view. So whatever our acharyas are explained, like Vishnu Chakra Thakur has written a lot of commentary, and Prabhupada, as we know, has written his commentaries based on Vishnu Chakra Thakur and Baldev Vidyabhushan. So Prabhupada has no other view. Same view. Very important Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah. Okay. So
Thank you.
let's continue with this verse and see how far we go. Aham sarvasya prabho. So aham obviously is Krishna. Sarvasya is sarvasya prabho. Prabha word again has been used many times in the past as well. So prabha means origin. So I am the origin, source of everything. Now mattaha, from me, sarvam pravartate. Now sarvasya and sarvam is same. Mattaha and aham is same. And prabhavo and pravartate is also same. You see, prabhavo refers to generation, as Prabhupada writes here, and pravartate is emanates. So that is also, you can say, it's a similar thing, right? So our acharyas explain there is a subtle difference. So prabhavo refers to the past tense. Past tense means a baby is born probably say 6 years ago, right? And pravartate refers to the present. So not only everything comes from me, but I am also maintaining them in the present. So there are two things here. So comes from me and maintenance. Baby come from say parents, but who's the maintainer? Maybe not their biological parents. Someone else maintains the baby. So prabhavo and pravartate, although they are same, but there's a subtle difference. So I am the origin and I am the maintainer. Iti matva. Matva means one who considers this. Iti means the one which is just said earlier. Bhajante mam. Now I'll ask you devotees, first 2 lines represent S, A or P. Anyone can say. You can unmute yourself, that's fine. S, Sambandha, Abhideya or Prayojan. First 2 lines. Aham Sarvasya Prabho. What is this? It's a Sambandha Gyan, it's a Abhideya Gyan or Prayojan Gyan? Sambandha Gyan, because this Sambandha, because right now we think this car is made by Toyota or Ford or Mazda or whatever, right? I am the owner, not Krishna is the owner. But Krishna is saying, not only I am the owner, I am the maintainer. I think I'm the father of the family. I'm maintaining the family. I'm running the temple. I'm this and I'm that. Krishna is saying, hang on a second, bhai. Aham sarvasya. And he's repeating himself twice. So if you think, okay, maybe Krishna was the generator of this, but I'm the maintainer. Now, Jiva Goswami gives another example in this regard. He says in Sanskrit, also in English, there are 3 categories of people. One is called theistic people. Theistic people we all know, who thinks God is the original and controller of everything. One are atheistic. God doesn't exist. So he's not the originator and he's not the controller. But there's something called deism. Now, deism word I've found in Chaitanya Charan Prabhu's lecture. So it comes from there. I don't know the Sanskrit word for that. And you say deism is they consider God is the creator, but he's not the controller. God has created the world. We agree with that, but he is not controlling the world. And the simple example is given. Everyone has a watch or iPhone or Android phone, whatever, everyone has it. Now I have a phone, it says Nokia. So who created this phone? Who manufactured this phone? Nokia. You have a car, Toyota or BMW or whatever it is, right? Made by them. But can BMW or Nokia or iPhone come to your house? Arey, maine banaya, his phone is made by me, so it's my phone. Can they say that? And you will show them the invoice. I paid $460 for this phone, or $14,000 for this car. Why? They are the generator of that apparatus, that machine. Are they the controller right now? No. So they say God was the originator of this material world, but he is not the controller. Why? Everything seems to be uncontrolled these days. There's so much theft, there's so much cruelty, there's so much happening upside down in the world. So God is definitely not the controller. Huh?
Prabhu, as parents, we are also in the same category.
See, I tell you, Charu Mataji always puts this practical topic of life. We are the creator, not the controller. Oh, Krishna. How should I say? Whatever I say, both sides will be doomed. True. But we are neither the creator nor the controller. I think that's the safest position to consider. Because by creation, we get this attachment.
In that sense, we are just the foster parents. We are
The
just
foster parents. Actually, that's the reality. Huh? That's the reality. We think we are the biological this and that. We are no logical. Krishna is from all the perspective, because this is all jivas. Bhagavatam says, as people meet in the restaurant for some time and then they say goodbye to each other after half an hour, 1 hour. We meet with each other in a family for 60, 70 years and then we say goodbye. Radha Govind Maharaj says, actually, we only meet each other for 20 years. Because you're creating kids and you're educating them for what? To send them outside to get a job, isn't it? To get a degree first and then you get a job. They always live out. Anyway, big topic. So, Jiva Goswami is saying, no, this deism is also not valid. Atheism is also not valid. Theism, God is always the creator. God is always the controller. God is still controlling. Maya Dakshin Prakriti Suyate Sacharachar. I am the supervisor. Directly or indirectly, everything is in Krishna's control. And he can take charge of those things anytime he likes, like Govardhan Leela. Krishna was not sowing a big form for that, but when there was a need, he lifted Govardhan. So same thing happens in our life as well. So first two lines represents the Sambandha Gyan. So when we consider that, now again, it's a small line, but we ponder on this line, we can have a lot of explanations and understanding. Once we consider Krishna is the one who is Prabhavo, he is the one who is Pravartate. Iti Matta, one who considered. What do you do? Bhajante Mam. Now, what is bhajan? S, A, or P? I'm asking you. Bhajante Mam. You understand? Huh? Abhideya, right? Once you understand, oh, Krishna is the maintainer, Krishna is the controller, then you have no other, sort of distraction in your devotional life. Otherwise, you think this person is important, that person is important. Now, devotionally, obviously, Vaishnavas are very, very important, but materially, we don't feel like that otherwise. So, what do we do? Bhajante. And what does bhajan translates to? As Prabhupada says, devotional service. Not only Anup Jalota ka bhajan, this and that, I'm also a devotee. No, that's not a devotion. Many times at least. So bhajan means active devotional service. We'll read about this word in next of devotion in detail. Actually, what does this actually mean? So I can just say active devotional service means not just sitting down, oh Krishna, I love you. Guru Maharaj gives example, a baby is crying because he's hungry and mother says, oh my dear child, I love you. My dear child, I love you. And baby is like, Mama, I'm hungry. But beta, I love you. Beta, I love you. So how you express your love to Krishna or to your baby? By serving the child. So you don't just say emotionally, many Indians come, oh Krishna, and they cry tears. And bahar jaake wo fir khasta puri khate hain. They go outside the temple, they eat khasta, puri, samosa and all that. They forget Krishna. That's not how we love Krishna. We love Krishna 24/7. At least we are trying for that position. And iti matva bhajante ma. So iti matva, once they know me, they do bhajan of me. How they do bhajan of me? Now, bhajan can have different gradations, different qualities, different categories. Buddha. Now, first Krishna is calling them as Buddha. Now, there's two words in Sanskrit, Buddha and Buddhu. So, Buddhiman and Buddhu. So, if you are not serving Krishna, you may think you are very Buddhiman. See, I'm so clever. I've done this, I've done that. But actually, scriptures call you Buddhu. Buddhu means not much intelligence is there. Everyone knows Buddhu. If you don't know, ask any North Indian. Buddhu. So Buddha. So Krishna is saying you are Buddhiman. In Srimad Bhagavatam as well, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prediction is given. Ijantihi Sumedasaha. Who will do yajan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Sumedasaha, who have lot of intelligence. Normally people will not understand him. Buddha. And how do they worship Krishna? Bhava samanvita, bhav ke saath. Madhuri Mataji was earlier asking about, Prabhu, where is prema? Mataji, here is prema. Krishna is putting the word bhav, and as I can say, a mother serving a child with bhav, with bhav. Now, a mother, same lady, suppose, serving in a restaurant. Are you serving those customers in the restaurant with bhav? Or are you serving your child or your family with the bhav? Same lady. But in the restaurant, you're having employment there. You're getting paid for it. If someone asks you, whatever, some nasty thing, you'll just go and put it on the table because you don't have bhav for the customers. But if your child asks something wrong, will you give that wrong thing to your child? No, because you have bhav there. So how do you serve Krishna? Bhava samanvita. It's also explained, Buddha refers to our head and bhav refers to our heart. So two things are there in spiritual life, our head and heart. Head represents our intelligence and bhav or heart represents our emotions or man. And Krishna says, Maya asak mana partha. Man mana bhava man bhakta. Give your mind and heart to me. So what is that mind and heart? This is mind and heart to me. So you give your head. Head means intelligence, because we have doubts. Oh, is Krishna really the God? Is Krishna really loving me? Is Krishna really looking at me when I'm washing dishes for Krishna? Is Krishna really appreciating me as being a devotee? That is called Buddha. And bhav refers to when you look at a devotee. If you've been to Vrindavan Mangala Arati, I'm sure many of you would have been. Vrindavan Mangala Arati. Anyone has not been? Not been? Okay, some people saying not been. Please go to Mangala Arati and you will see devotees, tears are coming. I've seen, right? Tears just scroll from they are human beings. So we're not talking about Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kola Vicha Sridhar having tears for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No, these devotees here in the Mangala Arati, they will be covering their head and they will be crying just by looking at Srimati Radharani or Gaur Nitai. That is called bhava. Now, there's no intellect there. Yashoda is loving Krishna with intellect or with heart? What's the answer? Or any Vrajavasi?
Heart.
Heart. So, which is more powerful to win Krishna, heart or head? Head will go away. Head will go away means intellect can go away. But Krishna always, like Kunti Maharani has this bhava of worshipping Krishna as Bhagwan as well as his niece. See, she has two bhavas, but which bhava takes over Kunti Maharani sometimes? Bhagwan bhav. Does Krishna appreciates it as much as Yashoda Maiya? No. Yashoda Maiya takes priority because Yashoda Maiya always serving Krishna. Brajamasi is always serving. Krishna shows the whole Brahmanda in his mouth. And Mother Yashoda sings, Mujhe koi bhoot chad gaya hai. I have some ghost in my head. That's why I'm seeing in my Lalla's mouth all the universe. She never sees Krishna as Bhagwan. Never sees Krishna as Bhagwan. Even after that incident, she goes down to Narayan and saying, Narayan, please correct my vision. I'm seeing something abnormal in the mouth of my Lalla. Please correct my vision. Never thinks, maybe he is God, he is lifting Govardhan. What is he lifting Govardhan? All the Govardhan lifting was held by Nanda Maharaj and his men. They were holding their lathi under the Govardhan. Madhu Mangal was chanting prayers. So they say, Krishna, you have not lifted Govardhan. And in Braja, they also, Radharani was lifting Govardhan. That's all rasa. But the point is, they all worship Krishna with bhava. So a devotee who considers Aham Sarvasya Prabho, Matta Sarvam Pravartate, Iti Matta, what does he do? Bhajan, which is Abhidaya, and the prayojan is bhav to Krishna. And that is called prayojan. So in this verse, the whole SAP, S-A-P, Sambandha Abhidaya Prayojan is condensed. It gives the Sambandha to understand Krishna's position. It gives what he should do, which is bhajan of Krishna, active devotional service, and Buddha bhav with intellect and the mind and the heart. With your heart and soul, you serve Krishna. And Prabhupada writes, this engage, perfectly know this, engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. All their hearts. It's very important word. Bhava samanvita. So not worshiping Krishna like intellectually, oh, Krishna is Supreme Personality, that's why I should worship Krishna. No, Krishna is the Lord of my heart. Krishna is the Lord of everything and everyone. That's why I must worship him, not out of fear, not out of duty, out of love. Yashoda serving Krishna out of love. Now, do we serve Krishna out of love? Very little. Mostly we are serving Krishna by our intellect at this stage. Oh, devotees are telling me, Guru is telling me, I should chant my 16 rounds, I should read Bhagavad Gita, I should do this and that. That's what we are doing. So at this stage, more intellect is there, but intellect is not going to win Krishna's heart. Eventually, your heart, emotion will win Krishna's heart. Sakhi Radhika Mataji.
Prabhuji, just a doubt. Just want to clarify. So, since it means that both has to go hand in hand, like first intelligence we have to put, and then eventually heart, like bhava will come. It's not that because otherwise we'll become sahajiyas. So I was just wondering.
That's
So
correct,
how
Mataji.
that?
Yeah.
So that means when Krishna is talking about like putting the head, like Buddha intelligence, you have to take.
So devotees are not Buddha, they're not like foolish people. And that's why Prabhupada said questions are most welcome. And Prabhupada said, we're not making blind followers. Huh? We're intellectual people. We have, like, I may not know, but scriptures have answer for every single question. Bhakti Maharaj said, if there's a question, there must be an answer. He was like full conviction. Now, I may not know the answer. Is irrelevant. But the point is, scriptures has answers. So devotees are not Buddha. They are not blind followers. They're not just, oh Krishna, you look so beautiful. You have so much opulence. So let me. No, not like that. Intellect. Krishna is the Lord of every single being. Suhridam sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shanti makshati. So full intellect is there, full heart. But slowly later on, what Krishna loves is your heart.
Sometimes we see very simple, like I would like uneducated, literally illiterate devotees I have seen personally, who have so much of faith and so much of bhava.
Yes.
They're from from very remote areas, and seeing them that probably they would have done intelligence in the previous life. And
But yeah, here intelligence, Mataji, does not mean how much shlokas they can recite, how much certificates they have. That's not what intelligence means. Intelligence means they are fully convinced. It's called nishtha. They're fully convinced in their intellect that there's no other Lord better than Krishna. That's what it means. It's not about material intellect we are talking here. Now, our material intellect at the moment, because it's serving Krishna, that's also very auspicious. But that's not the only thing. If you know at the end of your life, 10,000 verses, and you say to Krishna, sort of demand Krishna, I know 10,000 verses, and Krishna will look at you. So what? So what? 10,000 verses. So that's material intellect. Spiritual intellect is also used for serving Krishna, no matter what. Nishtha means nitaram tishtha. Tishtha means to sit. Nitaram means cannot be moved. So you cannot be moved from your position. That's called nishtha. It's called nishtha. Not that today you are worshipping Krishna, tomorrow you worshipping Sai Baba, next day Ganesh Babaji, and then that Babaji, Falgu Baba, and all that. That's no intellect. This is Buddha is considered spiritual intelligence. Okay. Priya Mataji, last question we'll take quickly, and then we will wrap up.
Sorry, Prabhu, can you just explain this prayojana part in the verse?
Prayojan part is, Mataji, what we're going to achieve eventually. So what we're going to achieve eventually, bhava for Krishna. That's what we are talking. Your heart will naturally be attracted. Like you're serving your mother. Are you serving your mother out of any fear, any duty? Oh, it's my duty. I don't like it, but it's my duty. Or do you have any fear? My mother will, say some bad words to me. My neighbors will say some bad words. No, it's out of love. My mother or my father, my family has done so much for me. Actually, you feel insignificant in front of your love, feel insignificant in front of their love. How much love and affection they have given to you, you feel actually short, isn't it? When we love someone, we always find fault in us. When we don't love someone, we find fault in another person. And that's why the disagreements happen in Kali Yuga. So much disagreements because we don't love each other. But when we love someone, we think, oh, it must be my fault. It must be my fault. And when we don't love someone, even if there's your fault, you always say, uska galti hai. You have the fault. A mother always thinking, I'm not doing anything. My Guru Maharaj gives an example. Even if the fat boy like this, 120 kilo child, and mother say, Mera bachcha to kuch khata hi nahi hai. My child doesn't eat anything. Look at him. He has become like a slim thorn. And Guru Maharaj said, he's like 120 kilo man. And mother is saying, my bachcha is so sukha. I wish he could eat properly. And Maharaj is like, how much more are you going to feed your child? Because mother's love always feels short. Always, what can we do? What can Yashoda Maya thinking? the gopis, my maid servants are not able to make good makhan. I will make the makhan myself. Damodar Leela, everyone knows, Mother Yashoda was making makhan herself. And it says she has never made makhan in her whole life before. First time she is making makhan. Why? Out of love. She has thousands of maid servants. My Lalla, my boy, I have to make makhan for himself. Okay? Priya Mataji, is that okay? Prayojan? Bhava. Okay, let's, any other quick thing?
Prabhu, I just was remembering
Okay.
Prabhupada's statement. He said religion without philosophy is sentiment, and or even fanaticism, and philosophy without religion is just mental speculation. So I guess this ties back with what.
Very nice. Very nice. It's a very nice statement which Mataji made. Prabhupada used to quote that. So we have to take both. Huh? Also, I'll just say one thing. I'll not explain it. Prabhupada has given beautiful references from different Vedas and Puranas in this particular parvot, and you can see it's a lot of it. Please read through it, and there's just some of them. And this also shows how scholarly Prabhupada was. Now, when Prabhupada was writing this purport, there was no Google, there was no WhatsApp, there's no Veda base. He could just type and cut and paste. This is all sitting in head of Prabhupada. He had some references, obviously, but imagine how much learned Prabhupada was. He's writing just a few of the quotations which proves Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada is sort of emphasizing on these first two lines. Okay, we'll stop here. It's 5:55. We have sort of covered the first verse. We'll do the next three verses next class. Sundar Prabhu, any quick announcements?
Other than the assignment, nothing else.
Okay, assignment. So we request all the devotees to please submit ASAP. 7th May is the last day. Will not accept anything after that, regardless. So please submit earlier. And as you are submitting, please put your name in the Excel. Someone has sent me the assignment. Thank you. Please put your name in the Excel as well, because Sundar Prabhu will be looking at this Excel tomorrow morning and will be sending you all personal messages. Please do not mind. He's just doing his seva. So Excel is sort of approved whether you have submitted or no. So please just put your name in the Excel and the date as well, because tomorrow morning you're going to get some messages. Please be ready for it, but please don't mind. It's just a seva we are trying to do. So please submit. It's very short assignment, only 3 essays you have to do, and please put the word count at the end of the essays as well. That would be very helpful. 72,000 words.
2 essays, Prabhu.
It's 3 essays.
Oh,
No, for this one, you said it's going to be 2 essays, and
did I say 2?
Yes,
2, Prabhu.
Okay.
Third
Okay.
in the second installment.
Okay, right. Okay, that's fine. I remembered 3. Okay, no problem. So if that's the case, it's 2 essays. So so you are all exempted by 1 more essay. So it's 5 plus 2. Okay. Anyway, I had in my mind. Anyway, that's what we have discussed. Let's do that.
Prabhu, for this module, we'll do 3. Just for this assignment, we are doing 2. That's what you said.
Oh, yes. Okay, so that's what. Okay, yes. So 2 plus 1. Thank you. Now it's clear, because in my head I had 3, and that was correct. So it's 2 plus 1. Yeah, because people, and some people are very smart. I'm looking at Charu Mataji. She has submitted the whole Bhagavad Gita sort of in one go. She's working hard, and that's very nice. So yes, this is 3, but yeah, 2 plus 1. We are expecting 2 for this 3 chapters and 1 later. Now I'm satisfied. And tomorrow is Ekadashi. So happy Ekadashi in advance, and Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. We'll see you all next week.
Jai.